Wait for somebody to get in or something. Let's see. Hello everybody, welcome to Tato's Hardcore Media. Another video. Wow, for stupid ass wires. Another video here. Depending who's here, how long ago. Let me see here. Which one? I'm gonna go over Psychologist here. Let me see. Leave a comment, leave a like, tell me what you think. And everything.
Let's go.
I'm with Tegan on this one.
Chad.
Well,
This one is from whatever podcast Psychologist explains why women have to earn affection. I have not seen any of these videos, so I just want to just get right in.
I was much more romantic when I was younger, and I did a lot of things that I saw in the movies, and I did them with a great deal of sincerity, and it generally did not work out very well for me. And it didn't lead to the kind of reaction that I was hoping for. I think the reaction I tended to get was, "Oh yeah, that's very sweet," which several of you ladies expressed, but it certainly didn't
Eric, can you
lead
fix that?
to. It didn't lead to sex, and it didn't lead to a relationship. One of the things that I talk about is, I call it the fundamental rule of attraction, which is that people want what they want, kind of reaction that I was hoping for,
How do you go back?
saw in the movies, and I did them with a great deal of sincerity. Well, I was
So what you say is that how he got a lot of this. I might have to go. I don't know what she has to say. A lot of what he got is from movies from earlier days.
much more romantic when I was younger, and I did a lot of things that I saw in the movies, and I did them with a great deal of sincerity, and it generally did not work out very well for me. And it didn't lead to the kind of reaction that I was hoping for. I think the reaction
I do believe, looking at these girls, I definitely believe that it is fixed. These podcasts are rigged. These podcasts are definitely rigged to have a certain amount of young girls on there that don't have as much up theirs or skewed a certain way mentality so they can further their agenda and stuff like that. Make a lot of girls that would look dumb. That's what I get.
I tended to get was, "Oh yeah, that's very sweet," which several of you ladies expressed, but it certainly didn't
Eric, can you
lead
fix that?
to. It didn't lead to sex, and it didn't lead to a relationship. One of the things that I talk about is, I call it the fundamental rule of attraction, which is that people want what they want, not what wants them. Okay? So there's another principle at play here, which is, see if you follow me on this one. It's not possible for two people to like each other exactly the same amount. Do you guys believe that that's true?
Yes. Do you believe that the man should want the woman more?
No. So let me talk a little bit more about this. So first of all, we're saying it's not possible for...
He's already lost the whole audience right now. He's going with his own psychology, psychoanalytics analysis and everything. He lost every one of them for potential date and everything. They don't care about this. They don't care about what he has to say right now. I mean...
for two people to like each other. So if that's true, then that means that there's always somebody in a relationship who likes the other person more, and there's always someone in a relationship who likes the other person less. I call this person the adorer, and this person the adored. And they're actually like gender neutral. Like men could be here, men could be here, women could be here, women can be here. And when a person is pursuing, when they're showing interest, what they're doing is they're putting themselves in the position of the
This
adorer.
is just, you look at her body language. She's like a blank. She doesn't even want to think about this. She just doesn't care. And it's like, that's why I'm saying these girls are just, he lost the potential. So I wonder if he's ever had a date.
Adorer, and the adorer is asked to have the emotional experience.
Right?
The adored doesn't.
Not as
The
much.
adored has a much greater
Well,
motive.
if both people like each other, then they both adore you. They adore each other. They love each other. Look at her. Oh my fucking God. Look at her. Holy God. Oh shit. Look at her. Some of these girls. Look at her. She can't believe she just was on camera. That she got caught doing that. Oh my God. Anyways.
Emotional experience, because this person gets to be with the one that they love, and this person gets to be loved by the one that they're with. And that's a very different experience. Now, there are pros and cons to each. It's not actually better to be the adored or the adorer, though people generally have preferences one for the other. But when a man comes out of the gate with buying flowers and going out of his way,
It has to be more reciprocal for both sides, where they both are that way. You're thinking in your own semantics and your own system and everything. If you have somebody that really loves you, it's going to be both ways. That you're to always want to. You can't, wait to get a message from them. You go crazy. After a certain amount of time, if you don't get a message from them, how they're doing, or worse, sick, because you haven't gotten the message at a certain amount of time, or you're not getting the attention that you want, or, both sides, it's both ways. It goes both ways.
it really does put him in a place of the adorer very early, and it creates a big gap in that attraction, because the fact of the matter is that no one has earned that yet.
Yeah.
And that's why it kind of comes off as untrustworthy. It's because there's nothing that the woman has done yet to demonstrate that she's worthy of his affection. And so it comes off as, even though it's in this, as just kind of desirous of wanting to be liked, which isn't generally why we like people. We don't really like people who want to be liked. We don't respect people who want to be liked. And it's very hard for women to be attracted to men that they don't respect. And so by giving unearned gifts, it generally reduces a woman's respect for a man, which over time, they can think it's sweet, they can think it's cute, but these aren't serious contenders for a woman's affections.
I completely agree. I think kind of what you just said, the woman hasn't really earned it yet. So if I just match with a guy off Hinge and he immediately brings me flowers without us even talking on the phone, I'm thinking he just wants to impress whoever's walking out that door. It has nothing to do with me. So the most recent time a guy bought me flowers was on a first date. I found it cringe. On the fourth date, he bought me a Brita filter and a water bottle, and I thought that was super romantic because I told him I'm super dehydrated because I never have drinking utensils, and that I found romantic. So it's not so much that women don't like gift giving, it's I think that they don't like impersonal gifts.
Well, what I think
But roses or flowers are very personal gifts. This depends on the woman. There's a lot of women that I know that love to be given flowers, though usually on a first date, not so much. Usually that's down the line after so many. They want you to know that you're still interested in them, that fire is still there. So, as a first date sort of thing, no. I think that's kind of, unless you already know each other real well or something, if I've known a woman for so many years or something, or a good amount of time, and we have an actual first date that's more than just friends or something like that, then that's different, where I, give flowers or roses or whatever. But if you don't know them, you're just going out so you don't know, then you're not, then I'd say that's a bit too personal, but the old days you would. in the old days, you would do that on the first date to get that, fire going. It's a lot different than it was in the 50s or whatever. A lot different, but it was.
You correct me if I'm wrong, but what you really liked about that is that the guy was paying attention.
Exactly.
And it wasn't really that.
It wasn't based off this idea of a movie of like, oh, girl, flower. You know?
That's true. And it wasn't that you really wanted a Brita. Like, you probably could buy a Brita for yourself. It's that somebody was listening to you.
Yeah.
That's too much. A Brita is too much. I would never do that for a second date. That's too much, too personal. I mean, that's too much money. If you don't know them, that's second date, that's just crazy ridiculous. Of course, she's not going to think that. That's too much money that you're spending, too. It's like, why are you giving this to me? Even some ladies I know, it's like, why are you spending all this money on me? That's a bit overdoing it.
And demonstrated that with a small gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think by definition, a gift is unearned. Like, you don't deserve it, it's just given to you because out of their heart, they just want to give you something. I think part of it is, as modern women, we don't really appreciate flowers as much as women did a few decades ago. But yeah, if it's a present, then that
shows my age, I guess, a bit. I mean, some girls that most don't. But it's like, yeah, in the old days we do that. We'd give them flowers or roses or whatever. And it's kind of sad how pathetic things have gotten. Yeah, it is sad and pathetic how things have gotten.
they know you specifically want. It feels less generic, you know what I mean? But a gift is a great idea, regardless. It's just, it feels more specific when it's, you know, it feels personalized.
Technically, I would agree with that. I think all gifts technically are unearned to the extent that they're true gifts and they don't come with any strings attached. But it's interesting, you said, what did you say? You said something along the lines of, no gift is, it'd be nice if he gave you a gift. Well, that's part of what I'm getting at, is he doesn't really know who you are yet. And so what he's doing is he's going through a script, or he is projecting an idea of you that may or may not actually accord with who you are. And on some level, it feels as almost like he's trying to purchase your affection.
Right.
Which generally has the counterproductive
Which is that
effect.
Brita thing. That's purchasing affection. That's way too much money for a second date. That's ridiculous. I mean, hell no. That's like purchasing, you know, when it's like, I'll buy you all stuff. You keep going out with me. That's terrible.
Effect of lowering attraction.
Yeah. So
Welcome to the Whatever Dating Talk podcast. Thanks for tuning in tonight. You could have been. I'm.
Can I guess?
My age?
Yeah.
Go for it.
29?
No.
What?
34.
Oh, cool.
Just turned.
I'm Melina.
And yeah, we're about 9K away, so really appreciate that. By the way, the auto-generated first 3 letters of this video's URL is HO. H0E. Just thought that was interesting.
That's
We've
how
had
you think of women,
DIX
I
a few
guess.
times too.
Oh,
So
What does that stand for?
the last one.
Oh, just like dicks.
Dicks.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's
My sophomoric sense of humor.
Like 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute. All right, so without further ado, after that rather long-winded introduction, we're going to have the guests introduce themselves. So please tell us your name, age, and occupation. Go ahead.
Hey, my name is Stephen Bunnell, 34 years old. People know me online and on Instagram as Destiny.
Okay, welcome.
that's what he looks like.
I'm Melina, known as Melina on social media as well, Melina Jorensen. I do Twitch, I'm 24, and I'm married to this. My wife, Destiny. Here.
Yeah, your wife.
Your wife.
Married to your wife.
Shots fired.
Destiny.
You just called
Such a
your
beautiful
husband and
woman.
wife. Nice.
And I'm Erin, aka
That's what he
Straighterade
looks
on
like.
all
Holy
platforms.
shit.
I'm 24 and I'm looking to do live streaming.
All right. What about you?
Hi, I'm Pixie, Pxie. I currently stream, and yeah, you can find me on.
What thing is, before I get into this, is that they're asked, people have been asked, what would you want more, a good career or marriage? I would choose career. because that's gonna last. You don't put as much of your soul as much as you do into a relationship and marriage, though you do in some jobs, but not as much as in a relationship as marriage. I take a good career any day. And I think, the women that I know of are the same, This isn't the old days where whatever Taylor just think of marriage and stuff like that, or guys want to get married and have kids and everything. Definitely a career.
Twitter or Twitch.
Age?
Oh, 24.
Wow, I'm 24. Okay.
Only 24.
I'm Billy Ray. I'm 25, and I am a content creator, mostly on the topic of men's dating.
Welcome.
I'm Nev. I'm 20. I got fired from PetSmart, so now I'm working at Los Pollos Hermanos. And yeah.
Oh, this girl.
Okay. Yay!
I'm Jonathan, also known as MLD. I'm 37. I'm based in Tokyo, Japan, and I'm here on my YouTube tour on whatever podcast. I do men's self-improvement.
I'm Mary Morgan. I'm 22. I'm a commentator at Timcast Media. You can find me on a show called Pop Culture Crisis.
The inflection in your voice suggested there was another bullet point. My name is John Doyle. I am 23 years old, and I talk about politics on the internet.
You said 23?
That is correct.
Okay. My name's Chase, 28 years old, professional photographer and brand consultant.
All right, rock and roll. And before we have everyone give their relationship status here.
Wait, how old are you?
I never introduced myself.
Why not?
He needs no introduction.
I'm the mystery. The mystery.
Wow.
But if I could.
I want to know. Yeah, I'm curious.
Hi.
Can I guess?
My age?
Yeah.
Go for it.
29?
No.
What?
34.
Oh, cool.
Just turned, yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
it's the red hair makes you look so much younger.
It brings out But thank you. I guess that's a compliment. Yeah, I just turned 34 recently, so.
Cool.
And I had a couple questions for you, Destiny. So, Destiny, you prefer Steven?
You can call me Steven.
Okay, got it.
Unless you really want to call me Destiny.
Yeah, by the way, we were talking about this before the show. So, and I feel deeply honored that you did this. You left a super chat on two. One was accidental.
Yeah.
And that's your first time super chatting ever on a channel.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big endorse. Can we say that Destiny endorses the whatever podcast?
I got so triggered by your episodes that I was slamming my keyboard trying to figure out how to throw money at you. Yeah, if that's an endorsement, you got it.
I heard it from the bedroom.
Yeah.
What was the super chat?
It was something, you guys were saying some crazy dating shit, but I'm sure we'll fight about it here, so.
All right, let's go.
Okay. That was the one with Rolo, right?
Yeah.
And you guys had quite a noteworthy debate yesterday with you, Rolo, Mike Sartain, and Sneeko, so that was a good show. Also, I just want to pay you a compliment or two. I've seen a ton of your videos, and you're a very intelligent guy, exceptional debater, so very sharp. So I just wanted to give you flowers on that.
Thanks.
So I think with that said, I reckon we might have our work cut out for us. But one question, have you ever taken an IQ test?
Never.
Never? You think it's up there? It's probably
I'd
pretty
say
high.
probably like 165, 170, maybe in that ballpark there,
Gotcha. Okay, so let's go around the
160.
table once more. What's your current relationship
Look
status?
at that. He knows what 160 is. Only few people on the planet just have 160. Yeah, he's like, bullshit, you're not going to have 160 or not. But anyways.
So are you single? Are you in the talking phase? Relationship, engaged, married, whatever, maybe situationship? Go ahead.
I'd say situationship / married, I guess, depending on the day. No, yeah, we're married. We've been together for like probably about 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the same.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Okay. How long was it? You said 3.5?
About 4.5 years.
Oh, four and a half.
It's been married for 1.5 years now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And married for 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I'm single.
Single. Longest relationship?
I never had a relationship.
Never had a relationship.
Mm-mm.
What?
She's young.
What's the longest period of time that you've dated somebody?
I've never been on a date either.
Never
I'll
been.
take you on one.
Yeah.
Have you been asked out on dates, but you rejected the guys, or?
Oh no. Well, I revealed this on on Fresh and Fit, and then after that, I got more date offers than I'd ever gotten in my life. But yeah, I just haven't taken up random strangers on the internet for dates. Crazy.
Are you aromantic?
Yeah, I don't.
No.
Don't.
Have you been asked out in real life?
Yeah.
Just weren't interested in any of the guys?
No, I was asked out twice and I got stood up for both.
Damn.
Rip.
Whoa!
Alright, he's in the chat.
That sucks.
You guys stood up. Why? Why? What dumbass? What is up with her? She's going over lies. She's saying the lies that he's saying. Just make these stupid, silly faces.
You've never had anything with the guy?
Stupid faces.
Or a woman?
Yeah.
No.
Fish ways.
Sure, or a woman.
What about a they
Nothing?
them?
No,
Jesus
or they
Christ.
them. No.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
That has to do with the fact that, like, in high school, I was in a dual enrollment program, and then I just kept my nose in a book for 4 years because I graduated with my associates. And then I got to college, and then the pandemic started, and then I was busy just doing too much gig work, and I didn't have time to, like, pursue a relationship because I was just focused on, like, finishing my bachelor's, which I did. And then the pandemic happened, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
What did you get your bachelor's in?
Biology.
Biology. Okay. Are you pursuing like a master's degree, or you're
Oh, I
done,
might.
done with school?
I might do it, but not sure
Okay.
yet.
So it's hard for me. Like, you
Are
think?
you on dating apps?
Yeah, dating
No.
apps. Anything?
Have you ever
No.
been?
No.
Kiss? Has there been a kiss?
Yes, I have, in fact.
There's been a
kissed
kiss.
people. Yeah.
Have you
On
ever
record,
kissed?
I think, yeah.
On record?
Yeah.
Was it like recorded on a stream or something?
Yeah, it's
or-
recorded.
Not on a stream,
Did you
no.
kiss someone at Fresh and Fit?
No.
Was
Who
it
would I kiss at Fresh and Fit?
fresh?
No.
Not your type?
What? Not exactly,
Yeah,
no.
between.
I don't think I'm his either, to be fair, so
I don't know what his type is, but
it's not me.
fair enough.
Yeah,
Are you
I can
open
tell
to
it's not
having
you,
a
yeah,
relationship?
right.
Yeah, of course.
With Fresh.
With Fresh?
With Fresh?
Who
If you
isn't?
Myron or Fresh, which one?
Jesus.
Myron or Fresh? Oh my god.
Yeah. Which one?
Those are your only two options.
How about you answer first? Who would you go for? Myron or Fresh? Who's just
Myron would
speaks
be
to you
more capable of protecting me, I think.
Yeah.
I'd be a little frightened, I think.
If you wanted to be the protector, though,
Mm-hmm.
who would you want to
Why'd you let her change
That's
it
the
on
question.
you?
Jesus Christ.
Did
This
you
is
realize
really-
she just deflected it, did a diversion, and just flipped it on? Do you not? I'm surprised. Usually don't. Usually they don't allow that. All right.
I'm befuddled. You've stumped me. I don't know.
Yeah?
That's a tough question.
It's hard.
It's tough. I would go for Big Mo, behind the scenes.
Good
honestly.
answer. Good answer. 10 out
Dude,
of 10.
Big Mo. Do you know? I don't know if he was there when you were on.
Not familiar. Who's this?
He's the sweetheart of the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Irresistible, I bet.
He's big.
Yeah?
Big Mo.
He's called Big Mo.
He's called Big Mo,
So-
so I guess it's not offensive for me to call him Big. Sweetheart, great guy, and then maybe Chris after
I
Big
wouldn't
Mo.
know. I don't see it.
You're
Okay.
very
This
intimately
is a little-
familiar
this
with
is
the
very sus.
Yeah.
cast
This
of
is getting a
Fresh
little
and
sus.
Fit.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I feel like it's like a beautiful mind
I don't
strategy.
watch
Like you don't
it.
want to go for the main guys, you want to go for the pretty girls in the background. So you're opting for all the background people.
Yeah,
That's
and then
interesting strategy. Okay.
And then the two main guys see that I'm kind of not paying attention to them, and then they come around, because I guess that works. Okay. And so first kiss, but virgin.
Virgin.
Have you had sex?
Had sex?
Well,
She
you
doesn't
said
know.
you've
You do know what sex is, right?
Well, I mean, you're.
That's
you don't
their-
often hear
is their
someone who's,
business,
for example, 24 who's never had anything. So
Is it uncommon?
I think
It's fairly uncommon.
Fairly uncommon
In America.
in America.
Or does it just feel uncommon? I
You-
feel
if
like
you
on
don't
this
wanna answer-
podcast, don't they talk about a lot how, like, there's increasing rates of loneliness, people are delaying things more and more. Doesn't that also apply to women, I'm sure?
I mean, have you had sex or not? I think
Thank-
that's what he's
thank-
asking.
thank you.
Like, have you had it? Like,
It's a good question.
She needs to decide if she's going to take you out later or not.
Oh, okay,
That's what she's
okay.
asking.
Well, we'll get to that part of the podcast a little later.
So she's off the answer. All right.
You don't want to.
are you just gonna let her manhandle you like that?
Yeah.
Like, we'll get to it later.
But has there been any?
Has there been any?
You know?
She
Okay, that means the answer is yes, right?
Not that I
Does
care.
it?
I
But she
don't-
said
so.
she's never dated a guy, but
think
you
so.
have kissed a guy.
I have kissed a guy, yeah.
Well, the thing is like I don't really care if she's a virgin unless she talks about sex and relationships and stuff. If you haven't been doing enough kissing, snogging, and you don't know anything about sex or haven't had it or anything, then you shouldn't be talking about it. Me, that's just me. But I hope she isn't talking about. She probably is, for all I know. thing is, if you don't know anything about it, you don't really have a right to talk about it. But
Do you want to just answer the question so I can go back to
It's really
asking
important.
Destiny questions?
What? Now, why don't we get to that first?
No.
Let's
Just
ask
answer
Destiny
the
some
question.
questions.
Answer the question.
What's the question again?
If you're uncomfortable answering it, that's fine. But
Are
you
you
said
a
you
virgin
wanted
or
to
not?
answer the
Have you
question
had it in the
later
butt?
on in the show.
Have I had it in the ass?
No. Are you just a virgin,
Jesus
just in
Christ.
general?
Just in general?
Yeah, like regular
Does
virgin.
lesbian sex count?
Yeah.
Does what?
Lesbian sex count?
Yeah, we
As
talking
having-
about like
real? Is
men,
that a
women.
that
Or no,
does
lesbian
count.
virgins is my question.
Have you ever been
sex.
with a woman? Have you ever been with a man?
Have you ever been with a
Biblically,
woman or a man?
biblically speaking.
Or are they them?
Do you have the
Bro, just answer
intelligence
the
to know
question.
what
Jesus
sex is?
This is literally like that scene in The Breakfast Club when they're all pressuring Claire to like say whether or not she's a virgin.
No, I never did it. Yeah.
I don't think she
You asked me if
has.
I'm a virgin?
Yeah.
Dude,
That's what they're asking.
Bro, how many times do you have to
Are-
repeat it? Hello?
Yeah.
I just have to
it'd
really
be
make
dumb
sure. What does it
stupid.
mean to be a virgin? Let's get the definitions out of the way first.
I'm very curious about that too, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A male
hold
and
on.
female.
You can just say that
had
you're not
sex.
comfortable answering and move on.
Yeah, don't answer it. Yeah. Then don't answer it. What the fuck? Don't. You don't have to answer it. But yes, no, or just I don't feel like comfortable and just move on. Just move on or whatever.
What-
So,
Do it!
Just say that you're not comfortable answering and we can
Yeah.
move on.
That's the only reason why somebody wouldn't want to answer that question is because of discomfort.
Just do it!
why be stupid about
your
it?
dreams come true! Just do it!
Yeah, do you understand? Do you have the intelligence?
I think we should
I hate
move
people
on
like
from the
that,
selfish.
but I don't
idea,
think she
Chase.
has the intelligence.
Good idea.
All right. Well, I want to come back to Destiny really quick. Actually, we'll let
I'm not a
everybody go.
virgin, if that's what
She
you're asking.
That's not what I was going to ask,
derailed the
but
whole
we'll let
podcast.
everybody go. Then I had a couple specific questions for Destiny. Go ahead.
I am currently single. My longest
Get her off.
relationship
Get
was
her
3
off.
years.
She's not going to contribute.
Okay.
I mean, it's very simple. Just don't say I want to answer. Or I don't feel comfortable. But don't be an idiot about it. Don't be stupid about it. It's
Billy
very
Ray?
simple.
I
You
have a
to-
wonderful boyfriend.
Rock and roll, longest relationship.
About 4 years.
Okay.
I'm seeing someone. My longest relationship was 2 years.
Closer into the mic, please.
I am seeing someone, and my longest relationship was 2 years.
Okay. John?
She could answer. They
Recently
could
single. Longest relationship, 4 years, 5 years.
Sure. Mary?
I can sick of
Currently
her.
in
I
my
get
first
sick of that
relationship,
dude
which
all
is
the
at 10
time.
months.
I am single. My longest relationship was about 2 years, 18 months, right around there.
Yeah, currently single. Longest relationship, about a year and a half.
And can you give us a little more information about your current situation?
My current situation being that I'm single and what? You want me to go into the looking for a wife thing?
Waiting for marriage.
Waiting for marriage.
Practicing abstinence and excited to meet the woman that God made for me whenever that happens.
Are you like newly abstinent, like born again abstinent, or are you?
Everybody says the born again thing. No, I became abstinent in 2020.
Like you were born in 2020, or how does that? I'm
As
trying to.
in-
Does abstinence
as
imply
in-
that you've never had sex?
He became
before?
a Christian in 2020.
Oh
No,
oh
I
my
became.
God, I'm so glad for you.
I became a Christian about 9 years ago, but I've been. I repented of fornication in 2020.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you became a Christian in 2014 or 13?
What sect are you?
About March or April of 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or what denomination are you?
Catholic, yeah.
Non-denominational Protestant.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Real.
What?
Protestant.
Why
You have,
is
you have,
Why not,
you
like,
have, you have an
actually,
opinion
like,
on that?
Pick a team, okay? Make a decision.
I mean, I'm looking
Let
at.
me guess. You don't go to a church either, right? It's more this.
No, I do.
So now we're letting the
what
Redditor
denomination
lecture
church?
us.
It's a non-denominational Protestant.
religious.
Calvary Chapel.
Oh, they make non-denominational churches? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
You can find them usually in strip malls right between like a Popeyes and like a Planet Fitness,
Oh my
right?
God.
They're just pretty normal churches. You know, they're not in like strip malls.
No?
Mine's just
Why
downtown.
is she talking?
Yeah.
Oh, based.
Yeah.
So Destiny,
Wow. Really aggressive in here tonight. Sorry, what's up?
from her, you think? Or
Usually I do not go
There's
after.
a lot of energy in here tonight.
is there?
But
Yeah.
I don't think she has anything to contribute. I don't. I mean, like I said, if she doesn't want to answer, just say, I don't feel comfortable asking her. I'm not going to say and move on from it, but I feel she has nothing to contribute by how she railroaded everybody and stuff like that, and just acting stupid. What It's adios. But
Little tension, eh?
It's all good.
Is it? Do you think it's because of the wig?
It might be.
I think that's.
I
You
think
should keep it on.
the wig is like staving off more tension that could enter the room.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Should we introduce more tension into the room? Should we take it off?
Oh my.
I need to fix my hair. Holy shit, that's scuffed. I'll get up in a sec. Destiny, you have a son, correct?
Yeah.
Are you involved or is?
Yeah, I lived there until he was around 9. Then I moved to California and then Florida. And then anytime I travel, I try to visit him afterwards. So I'm
Gotcha.
heading up to Nebraska tomorrow to hang out with him.
You said he's 9?
Yeah. No. Until he was 9. He's 12 now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And who here is bi?
This whole side of the panel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
All
Is
bunch
it
of
bi?
degenerates over here.
Totally.
Haven't found God yet on this side
Is that
of
is
the
it
table.
You will
bi?
in time.
Destiny, hold on, wait. I
Fuck
should put
yeah,
this back
yeah,
on while I
fuck
ask this
yeah,
question.
dude.
Hold on.
Are we decreasing the tension for this question?
You look like Chucky.
Chucky, Jesus Christ, holy
I feel
shit.
more intimidated, honestly, with it on.
It's
like,
a little scary.
Yeah.
You feel like he's gonna like try something?
Yeah, like he's gonna attack me.
It feels like I'm in Death Note.
He won't. I'll hold him
Yeah.
back. Don't worry.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Destiny, am I your type?
I'd say no, probably not.
What the fuck, dude?
What's your type in terms of men?
Like if they're
Like
there's
liberal,
Yeah,
progressive,
yeah.
you know, the they thems, you know.
Come on,
Like
really?
appearance-wise.
Appearance-wise, like if I was just like bleeding heart liberal.
What about
Yeah, I
Chase?
bet he would be his type.
what about Chase?
Is
If you
Chase your
didn't
type?
know him or anything, yeah. I
Would you
bet
chase
so.
That'll be in the after show. We'll talk about
Visually.
that.
Is that a
That's
yes?
it.
I don't really have like a guy. I only date women.
Wait,
But
but you're
only-
attracted
only
to men.
You
but-
smash dudes, but don't date them.
We'll go with that, okay?
Okay.
Is it off? Is it off limits?
Well, I don't know how much you want to fucking
Are
do
you a
erotic
bottom?
fan fiction here. For,
Yeah, right.
if you want like
Yeah.
details,
What
my
are we doing?
fucking
Erotic.
guys are, we can do
Yeah,
that if you want. I
fiction.
mean,
You gotta
Yeah,
go to
we're on
Disney to
YouTube,
get
so
that.
you know. I don't know.
I mean, we don't
Bi
need
stuff.
certain
Gay
details, but
fiction or
just getting
Destiny,
some
are you a top
basic.
or a bottom?
What the
yeah,
fuck?
we don't have
No,
to go on tape.
no, okay,
Oh,
fair enough.
okay.
All right.
I don't think we have to get it on.
Are you sure that this is the only side of the table that's bi? I mean, you're
Yeah.
intimately
Yeah.
familiar with
Yeah, there's a lot of guys
Yeah.
that are really
What do you
into
mean?
I
it.
don't know if he's a top or a bottom.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah,
I'm just,
yeah.
like,
you're
curious, you
asking,
know.
Am I your
dude.
type?
Like,
What's
you're
something
very
that
curious.
you're
Can we
getting
do
into
it
here
later?
yet?
Flexible.
It's like
Yeah.
very
Like-
interesting. You put on the
Yeah,
wig, and I
Never
remember
say
that.
never say never.
You said it was a lot of
Never say
tension
never.
earlier
Just
as
keep
well.
it in
Yeah,
mind.
there is, sure
Yeah.
is.
But I mean, he already rejected me, so I kind of like.
I didn't reject you.
Oh.
I'm more like a personality. I'm like a
Reject-
sapiosexual,
yeah.
you know. You get if you impress me intellectually, then.
Well, that's not going to happen because
Let's give love a chance here, guys.
spill over
Have
my
you
words.
tested your IQ, Brian?
I don't know.
You strike
you
me as a
don't know if you've
155
tested
guy
it.
for sure.
English is my second language, so my articulation's pretty poor. Oh shit! Thank you, man.
Based_Burner donated $299.01. Brian, I started watching a month ago. Your social experiment has convinced me to stop sleeping around, which was a big part of my life, and focus on the one
That's
woman
your
I know
loss,
I
pal.
want to marry. I'm thankful for your platform. Keep growing. Texas forever.
Yo, Base Burner, thank you for the big TTS, man. Really appreciate it. Glad you enjoy the social experiment.
Matt, props for your abstinence as well, Base Burner.
What was the social experiment?
I think he's referring
just the show.
to the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if it's a social experiment, but I suppose you could frame it
You
in
could
that
probably
sort
call
of
it
way.
that. Yeah.
Or
I'd say that's fair.
because I also did like social experiments like back in the day, but I don't think he was referring to that. So,
That sounded.
I'd be curious to hear from Base Burner if he wants to send in another TTS. What inspired you exactly to stop sleeping around? If you want to answer us.
Was
No,
it Chase?
for another $300?
Was
if
it?
you want to continue.
Might as
Fishing.
well.
Okay.
Listen, for me, I joke around about a lot of this, about your loss not sleeping around, but let's be honest, you sleep around, you got those STDs and everything you got to worry about. Me, I don't like doing that stuff. Getting tested, you should be having safe sex and everything. It's the reason why I like to use my fingers, my mouth and everything else. I don't use what's down below, hardly whatsoever. That's for safe sex. I don't want to get a woman pregnant either. I don't want that. I'm doing good. I'm doing real good having it, doing stuff that way and everything. It's a lot safer. It just is. You save a lot of money by not impregnating women. You just do.
So just a question about your guys' relationship. So is it a from my understanding, it's a polyamorous relationship. Is that right?
Yeah, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Wait,
Is
we
the
don't
wig
live
kind of
with, like, a-
flippant?
We don't have like a third.
Is it flippant? The
Well,
wig?
we don't have.
Sorry,
wait, what?
Is the wig a little flippant when I'm
do you
asking
mean by
serious
that?
questions? Like a little.
Don't worry about it.
You know?
Don't
It's
worry
okay.
about it.
I've gotten used to it now.
Yeah.
I've
gonna
seen you more
It's
with red
okay.
hair than not red hair, so it's actually kind of normal now.
Okay, cool. I'll take it off in a bit, but.
You guys were kind of wishy-washy
They
on
used
that
to
answer.
get
What
your
did
own
you
It's
think?
like,
rule.
we're like poly, but we don't like
Yeah.
live with like a third person or anything like that.
What
We
are like
just,
the rules of your guys' relationship that you have with each other? Like, what are the rules and boundaries?
I think generally we just try to communicate with each other when we see other people.
Honesty.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
And that's generally it, yeah.
Does anybody have veto power over the other?
I mean, like in any relationship, anybody does, right? Like if somebody wanted to see somebody and the other person like hated one of your partners, it's probably not good. So
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys?
So
have you
Melina has like an indefinite veto over you, and you have an indefinite veto over her. You're
yeah, I
like,
mean,
just
of
like,
course,
this
to
guy's
some
like a
extent,
hard
right?
no.
Like if we have like mortal enemies and the other person's trying to like sleep with them, it's probably not going to work out very well.
Well, yeah, no,
not the
I'm
most
just,
healthy thing.
I'm not like leading you into any kind of like gotcha moment. I just
That is
genuinely.
polyamory, though. Those open relationships and everything. Is that those two are the, the main. Those two, Destiny is girl are the main. What are you doing without? She makes these faces and everything. And this cat. Anyways, I had on pause, but I know she's up to no good. But in those polyamory, relationships is that they're the main two. Anybody else, there's certain people that they can veto or having a relationship with, guy or girl or whatever, even though it's an open relationship. If both hate a certain someone too much, then they talk about that veto, about kicking that person out if they're getting too attached to another person more than them. That's in that main relationship between man and woman or whatever. Then obviously it's going to cause jealousies and problems, and I see about kicking that person out.
They want to know. So
Yeah.
if she wants to sleep with someone, you're like, no, she has to respect it, and then vice versa for him.
Yeah, I mean,
Has
if
that
you
actually
say
supposed
happened
to.
before?
Yeah.
Where you had to veto or she
yeah,
had to
sometimes,
veto?
yeah. There's a lot of like streamer stuff that gets really dramatic sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah,
Do you-
there is with polyamory, these relationships of having open relationships that people don't know about and stuff. There are certain things.
You feel like explaining the circumstances?
Like, let's say that someone sleeps with a monogamous person and then they get really obsessed with you.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, this is really toxic. Like, I want to keep seeing this person, but
Right.
they're like really shitty towards my partner. So, of course, I would want to
Right.
like, that's not fun. It's not fun for me to listen to someone that I'm sleeping with that hates my partner. Or the other
Right.
way around, too. Like, knowing that he's sleeping with someone that hates me.
Would
That's
you
just
even
really
entertain?
disrespectful.
Would you even
Yeah,
entertain that
yeah.
as a woman? Like, this guy like definitely hates your
I
husband.
usually just sleep with girls.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But it could be the same
So
thing.
he
with
ain't
girls, too,
gonna
that don't
really
date me.
object that much.
They just like
unless the girls
hate
say,
him,
yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah, or
with
some,
you.
or like they're monogamous, so they're gonna get really jealous. They don't understand the open mindset. Like they don't like. It's just gonna be
So
that
basically,
mindset.
like sometimes people see our arrangement and it seems like a fun thing to do. It's kind of similar to friends with benefits, where people will think it's a fun thing to do,
Yeah.
but then when they try it, they get really emotionally attached, and then because we're already in a relationship, it gets really weird.
Yeah.
So,
Has it been difficult?
This is something with open relationships like that, polyamorous and stuff like that. Look at her. What the fuck? She just thinks it's all a joke. But anyways, if people grow too attached in a relationship with these polyamorous open relationships with other people, and they get too attached to the main two in that relationship that has all these other men, women, or whatever in it, that's a bad thing, because the two main in all those other relationships, they're supposed to be the main part of that relationship. And so if somebody says, I want more of this person or that person, they have to kick that person out, or else it becomes toxic, or if they don't like him or whatever. So
Maintaining this dynamic?
I mean, in
we
a
run
way,
into a lot of crazy
yeah.
people,
But it's
or
also a lot
like
of fun
things
too.
get
So I
crazy.
really, yeah.
yeah.
So how are
You're
you?
probably not attracting the most sane people in the first place.
I
by
try to go for
advertising
people
that.
that are open or like that are poly now. because
To be fair, I've had lots of women stalkers, so it doesn't matter if you're in an open relationship with having a polyamorous relationship with others, you know, if they are. I've had plenty of women stalkers years before. They create fake accounts. They try and find me, you know, try and meet me on, you know, Dayside or whatever, and other types of stuff. So it doesn't matter if you're in a, you know, an usual type of relationship where it's just two people or open. If you have an open one, you open yourself up to more of that, but it doesn't matter. There's crazy men and women out there no matter what.
It makes things a lot easier, so we can just avoid like the jealousy, because I don't even think it's really fair to like, I almost feel like when someone agrees to sleeping with any of us and they're thinking it's a fun thing, usually we're like a lot cooler, you know, and they don't really realize until later on, and then they get really obsessed or they feel really, really bad. So I usually feel really bad for them.
The thing with these polyamorous relationships is that they do to have more relationships, but not to take over the main two in that relationship. It's about really getting to know and love the other people in that polyamorous relationship. It's not about having sex, it's about having a real relationship.
On as well, so I don't think it's really fair either to do that.
How long into your guys' relationship did you start this dynamic?
Right at the very beginning.
Right at the very beginning?
Yeah.
So you guys were like, right off the bat, like, yo, let's do it this way.
This is the only relationship I've ever done.
Whose idea was the whole open relationship? Yours, Destiny?
Basically, yeah. Like after my last relationship, I didn't actually ever think I would date again because sleeping around is fun and shit.
Yeah.
So the idea of like being locked down to one person is not fun. And I started talking to her, and she was cool, and she's like, "Oh, well, I do open relationships." I'm like, "Oh shit, this is like perfect." So.
And why did you decide to get married then? And what does that mean?
Because she lives in Sweden, and I live in the United States.
I don't think she's not an alpha, and she doesn't control everything. It's that he wanted to have it. She's like, okay, this is the way it usually is in these poly relationships, though. Usually it is the guy that initiates it, where usually for women, for girls, they're too scared to bring it up that they want to be with others, where guys aren't. Because girls, there's that stigma with girls, women, that they'd be looked at as prostitutes, as hoes, or sluts, whatever, and stuff like that. Where the guy, they're not going to attack him so much. I mean, because he's a guy. Guys guys like women and stuff. It's that stigma and everything. It goes back, way back in time, of how women are looked at with having open or polyamorous relationships. You know, so it's usually always the guy that initiates it, because that's just the way it has been.
Way she can spend any considerable amount of time with me is to be married.
So it was just green card, just that.
Kind of, yeah.
But
I mean, like, we love each other too.
During the pandemic, it was crazy for everybody visa-wise. So, but then
we'll probably do like, I imagine we'll do like an official ceremony at some point. We just have to like get the logistics set up and everything.
I think we've been together for long enough to like, oh, we're like married, we love each other.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with all of the regulations or whatever, but isn't there a timeline that if you reach like 5 years of marriage from a green card marriage, you can get divorced and the person who is from another country can keep their green card? And at that point, do you think that you will divorce and then
you can with the green card. Once you get that green card, you're married and stuff like that, you can just divorce right off the bat. You don't have to stay in. They can stay in this country. A lot of people, especially how it's abused, the green card stuff these days, is that they act like they want a relationship, but they're interested in somebody else anyway. They just get here for citizenship. Of course, that's a different subject.
Stay together?
I don't think we'd ever divorce, but technically, don't take legal advice from me, but I think if you're in the United States on a visa and you're in the process of getting the green card, you can break up already and still follow through in your green card process.
I have a few friends who've done that.
Yeah, you don't even have to go through with the marriage technically, so yeah.
Yeah.
And you come from a family where this is practiced, right, Melina?
I think my parents did do like swinger stuff and like open things, like non-monogamous things together. I don't know.
Were you aware
if
of
they,
that? At the time?
Usually they
not
are.
Not at the time, like when I was a kid or anything.
Usually
but like later on when I was
know
talking to my mom when I was
their
older.
swingers.
And I was like, oh, open relationship makes a lot more sense to me. She's like, oh yeah, I did that too. So it's like, okay.
Are your parents still together?
No.
Okay. Destiny, didn't you come from like a Bible Belt background or no? Like,
yeah, very.
You did,
very,
right?
Very conservative, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
Nebraska.
that's catalyzed your political evolution?
I mean, I'm not related to that at all anymore, but it would be stupid to say that my upbringing didn't influence my political stuff at all. I'm sure it has. It's hard to know how it manifests exactly, but yeah, I was writing articles for my school newspaper supporting like Bush and the Iraq War when I was in high school. So
Wow, so you're on the other spectrum from where you are now.
My mom is Cuban, so Cuban people in general are very, very, very conservative.
Were you ever
Especially-
socially conservative at the time?
Yeah, yeah, very much. Like not hated gay people, but very much against like LGBT stuff and all that.
When did that change?
Through high school, I became an atheist, and then as I started to get more, once I started streaming, when I turned like 21, 22, once I started to make more money, my political views started to shift quite a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I come from a very religious family and stuff like that, and I didn't, even though I had near-death experiences and stuff like that, and what is real, what isn't, fake about religion, stuff like that. I just don't like the tribalism and a lot of stuff, how humans judge each other. Doesn't matter in the afterlife. We're not judged here. What we do here is not so much judged in the afterlife, whether we go to heaven or wherever else. It's not. That's the fakeness of religions and everything that they put on there, but it's not real. None of them are. So I just said F it with religions and stuff. There she goes with her face again. She likes to steal the camera. She likes to steal the shot. But yeah, I come from really religious parents, and I like the brainwashing with religions that, how they saw me, being controlled by demons because of UFOs and other stuff, other experiences, and the abuse and stuff like that. And I just said, F you all, I'm out. So.
Very interesting.
Do you feel like you're getting interrogated right now?
I've answered all these questions in
This
my
guy's like a super fucking streamer. This is not his first rodeo. What's the largest stream you've been on? How many live viewers?
I think it was when I was covering the Miskiff shit.
Yeah.
I think
it was like 60, 70K. Yeah,
Jesus, on your stream?
Like yeah.
It was
on YouTube. Yeah.
That's pretty lit. It's pretty lit.
I might have missed this while I was adjusting my hair, but I had that.
Oh, you combed it for us. Cute.
Yeah, I got to be presentable.
Of course.
So you guys are in a polyamorous relationship. So, and I apologize if I missed this. Do you guys both sleep with other people?
Yeah.
So in what way are you not a cuck? I heard that you got mad at me for calling you a cuck.
Well, I got mad at you for
This is the retardation that people say, yeah, you're not a cuck. If you, these stupid kids are cucks, dude. Thing is, you're a cuck if you want, other guys want to watch other guys, having sex with your woman. That's like a cuck. You like that stuff or whatever. But if the guy says, like, if I have a woman, I say, all right, if you have these other guys, do what you want. But if you're doing that, I'm going to go with other women and have sex. That's not a cuck. You're having sex with other women and stuff like that. If he wasn't having sex with other women, and, he's like watches into that stuff or whatever, that's what a cuck is and stuff, so...
a cuck because you didn't know anything about me and you were radiating more pick-me energy than I've ever seen in a girl in my entire life. So
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny.
But how are you not a cuck is what I asked.
You know what a cuck is?
Yeah, what is a cuck to you, I guess?
Someone like Nico, someone who sits in a chair, someone who watches.
No,
someone who watches their woman get fucked by another man.
I don't watch a woman get fucked by another man.
Someone who allows that.
Well, someone who allows it is just somebody in an open relationship.
And how do you
Yeah, it's
expect
an
that
open
to last for the
relationship.
next 5 years?
I mean, it's lasted for 4 years,
That's
which I think is
not
longer than
cucking,
any
though.
relationship you've been in, right?
It's not cuck.
Yeah.
So I think I'm probably doing okay. That's
You're pretty stupid.
I'm 20.
What?
I'm 20.
Okay, and I'm 34.
And I don't have someone looking for a green card.
That's fine. She's already got her green card. She's free to leave if she wants.
Do you guys feel like you're going to be together into old age? Like, do you want to stay together forever?
I had the same question.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
I think
Let's
so,
just clear
Wait,
something
do
up
you
too.
think-
Hold on, one more thing. Sneako's not a cuck. He did it one time, and he said it was not for him. So you got to drop that.
Okay, good to know.
So you think
he didn't even truly? Also, to be fair, he didn't do the cuck thing. He went to a swingers party. He wasn't into the swingers stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird because like
You know
there
why
is, like,
he
a
did
whole
it?
like sexual fetish you can explore relating to cuckoldry. Which, by the way, if people are into cucking, that's knocking stuff out. That's cool.
Do you know
So
why
women
he
do
did
cuck
it,
queening?
Destiny?
What?
Do you know why he did it?
If I had to guess, it's because he heavily models himself after men that he respects, and Patrice O'Neal talked about it.
Bingo.
That's my guess.
Yeah, yeah. It was a no.
Like,
You watched
it's not- but
Patrice
he didn't-
O'Neal
he
doing
didn't-
it.
Yeah,
He's
but
a
he
kid.
didn't. He didn't go to the party thinking like, I want to watch my girlfriend get fucked and jerk off in the corner.
not like he
he
was
went to
turned
swing
on
and then
by
he
it.
wasn't
Right.
into it and he left. Yeah.
No, the reality was I think he stepped out. He felt guilty, so he like gave her a free pass, and then he did it once.
That's the thing, you know. If you're a cuck, then you like watching your girl banged by another guy. That's what a cuck is, and stuff. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. It's not my fucking business, and I'm not gonna attack them for unlike other people. I'm not gonna attack them for doing that. That's their private lives. But you can't call somebody a cuck if the guy doesn't like to watch his wife being fucked by another guy, and he's, having sex with other women. That's not a cuck. It is. It's just there's all these people that hate, people having open relationships and calling them names or whatever, being jealous that they can't do it themselves or whatever, or that they won't conform to their standards of what a relationship is.
One time, he's like, "This is terrible. I never want to experience this again," and that's it. So that was years ago.
So it's not a cuck in that case because a cuck likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he continues down the path of cuckoldry, which he does not.
Yeah, this is the thing, and I've talked to other adult stars, about this and stuff as well, is that I don't want to see another guy's dick. I don't. Like I said, that's what jail prison is for, or whatever. Yeah, of course, you have to take showers, you see it. I don't want to see that shit. It's like, something, they'll send me a scene, on my OnlyFans or something like that. It's like, what the fuck? I don't want to see this shit. I don't want to see this crap. I don't. It's offensive. I have my own. I don't want to see another guy. What the fuck? And someone get butthurt and say, how dare you? It's like, what the fuck? I have my own OnlyFans. I don't want to see that shit.
Nico's
I have
totally
a question. There was a clip of you two that went kind of viral on Twitter a few days ago where you started ballroom dancing with some guy in the background of a stream. What was the situation there and who was that guy?
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube called Abba from Abba and Preach, and I think he's trying to steal my girl from me.
Is he?
So he dances. She's
You
got like a
looked
background.
pretty devastated.
Hey, I gotta say, she is hot. She is fucking hot. She is hot. I see why other guys. Oh my god! Look at that. It ain't just me. They aren't.
Maybe
Hold on,
that's how your face
hold on.
is.
Wait, I did not look devastated. When you guys are
A little
watching,
bit, though.
no, I don't. When you guys are
That's
watching
just your
clips,
resting face, though.
No. When you guys are watching clips, there's three responses I can have. I can either laugh about it, in which case you'll be like, oh my god, he's coping. Or I can just sit there and just watch because I'm just watching my chat and my stream. You're like, oh my god, he's secretly terrorized. Or I can be like, oh no, guys, don't, and joke about it and be like, oh my god, he's secretly coping. There's literally no response I can have because you're projecting all of your insecurities on the situation.
So,
Melina
Melina,
wants to,
are you seeing that guy?
no,
what's
he's
the-
it's Abba Preach from the YouTube channel.
Wait, do
He's
you
hanging
think
out.
that? Wait, hold on. Do you think that dancing is fucking? Because in that case, there's a lot of there's a lot of children out there dancing.
I don't
Maybe
know
you should
what
do
you
something
said.
about it. You know?
Easy.
Oh yeah, careful.
No, I was just saying the reaction to the clip was obviously.
Yeah, I know,
very
but I
strong.
don't understand why people are having a big reaction to.
I think it was
they were
the fact
also
that Destiny looked
listen, in his defense, they were playing "Hello Darkness, Smile Friend" and zooming
Yeah.
in on
Oh,
his face
from
to
Simon Garfunkel?
show maybe despair or something he's
Yeah,
feeling.
find something
that's
that
just what
wasn't
your face
there.
looks
Yes,
like,
but it
yeah.
feels really.
Yeah, because
it
you
just
can
feels
cut-
really
yeah, it's
ridiculous,
just-
right? Because
you
I've
can
done
edit anything to make it look like
I did
anything.
12 years of ballroom dancing when I was younger, so I was competing in that
Okay.
sport. So if I meet someone that does some sort of dancing that is with a partner, I can like dance with them really well, and that's like what's the fun out of it, right?
I think she's saying, like, in a traditional sense of things, it looks bad on him, but you guys don't have a traditional
we literally
relationship.
fuck other people, though. Why the fuck
No,
would
I know. I'm just saying. No, that's what I'm saying. You guys don't have like from a traditional standpoint. From a traditional
This is the
standpoint.
thing. Why can't the podcast be like this? There she goes again without making faces and everything. But anyways, this is what it should be about: is people just being able to talk about have different types of relationships instead of just shitting on people for having different types of relationships. That's what I love to do. But the ladies that I know can lose their jobs if they talk about stuff like this, so I can't have them. I don't have all the infrastructure right here on site, but that's what I want. It's just do it without shitting on each other for having different types of relationships. If you want to have an open one, have one. If you don't, then don't. If you want traditional, good on you. Whatever works for you. It's whatever you want. Go after it. But I don't like it when somebody just attacks them for having a different type. That's not right.
It looks bad, but you guys are not traditional. I think that's what she's saying. It looks bad, but
wait,
not
is it
taking-
Hold on, wait.
tradition,
Even in a
it's not
traditional
bad. It's not
aspect,
bad
like
in
you
a
can go to
tradition.
weddings. Like sometimes
Well,
other
it was
people
in your
dance with other
house,
people.
though,
Yeah.
You know.
Have you guys
That
ever
shake?
danced?
Like it's not like they're like
I know you're
grinding.
not like at a ballroom.
I'm not
dancing event
I'm not
with
okay with if I marry my wife. I'm not okay with her dancing with.
And that's
anybody.
great. Your insecurities are
Same.
yours to deal with. But I'm
It's
just
not
saying,
insecurity.
Insecurity.
No,
That's
not
not
insecurity.
respect.
Insecurity. That's insecurity,
It's
bro.
insecurity. It's just a boundary I have. It's not
and that's
insecurity.
fine, but it's not. But it's not.
insecurity.
It's not
Right.
just
It's not
a
an
boundary.
insecurity.
It's you saying that like
It's
in a
respect.
traditional relationship, this wouldn't be okay. Plenty of people dance with other people. It's not a huge deal. Now, if they were like
I don't
fucking
see
grinding
it.
on each other or some shit, that'd be different. But when they're going through like moves on like a ballroom dance thing, I think that if you got a huge problem with that, I think that's just more about
So
you.
wait,
than
why
it's about
why
me.
is
Yeah.
my boundary all of a sudden limited and
The problem
labeled
wasn't
as
your
an
bou-
insecurity?
The problem wasn't your boundary. The problem was
Because
you said
it
we're in a
is.
traditional relationship. You
In
made
a
it.
way, it is. It's about your own self-esteem and stuff like that. Forcing. It's good for people to dance and to be joyous and to have celebration and stuff. So why not say, "Hey, you can't dance, can't do that"? Like, what the fuck? Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Don't put limits on your wife's happiness over dancing. Now, if it's a type of dancing, that's different. That's different. The type of dancing or whatever. But
It's not like it was a boundary that everybody should have.
No,
if
no,
you would have
no,
said
no.
just me personally, I'd be like, okay, sure,
I
that's
did
fine.
say just me personally. I say the
You
way
said- you
she's
said in a traditional relationship.
the way they're perceiving you. But and then I built on it saying me personally, I'm not okay with that.
Sure.
Hold
And for
on.
you personally,
Hold
that's
on,
fine.
Billy. You wanted to
maybe
go.
one time.
I can change the subject a little bit if you want to.
No, we're fighting.
It's the same subject.
Why would we change it?
Fight!
Having a good
I know.
Fight!
We're fighting. We're fighting. No.
Fight!
I thought you wanted to come in on something.
No,
With
I
the
was
bossy
calling another
gloves.
relationship about children.
What?
She's going to ask, how can you guys do an open relationship and have children at the same time? And then we're going to answer, we'd probably close the relationship if that happens, but yeah, go for it.
That was my question.
Yeah,
What
I
do
know.
you plan on doing when you have children?
No, we would probably not be fucking around as much because you wouldn't even have the time for it. I
Do
would
you make
imagine.
eye contact when you
won't.
speak or no?
You
Oh, over
won't.
here.
Well, kind of, yeah, but I can't really see it. I don't want to block the camera because,
Well, it's
I,
actually
I'm
better if
taking
you
care
just
of
kinda
kids and
maintain
stuff
more
like you don't.
Sorry,
Yeah, you
my
don't
bad.
do
Straight
that.
on.
Oh, shit,
I do have
Let's have
a question
babysitters.
for both of you guys. Out of curiosity, how many men beyond Destiny?
Flan Life, thank you for the 50 gifted. We'll have to do the fit check later on in the show, guys. Thank you, man. Go ahead.
Besides
guys
Destiny,
after.
in your guys' relationship, if you feel comfortable answering, how many men have you been with?
Like total? I actually don't really know. Usually it's just women.
But
Wow.
if you had to estimate,
Isn't it Destiny?
I
Is
don't
that
remember.
accurate that you tend
I
to
don't really
look
keep,
up
I don't
more
really keep
men
count
and she
on
tends
like
to
how
look
many
more
men.
with women?
No.
would you say?
I've hooked up with like 8 guys in my
hold on,
life.
hold on. Would you say it's like 5, maybe 10?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's like years ago, right?
The last
Oh,
time you were
years
with a guy
ago.
besides
I
Destiny
think
in your
so. It's
relationship?
probably a long time ago. Usually just women.
Okay, how many women have you been with besides her in your relationship?
I don't think it keeps counting, but
I
it's a
don't
lot
know.
of them.
Okay, but like, come on, give me like a
I bet all my
ballpark.
girlfriends like
Destiny's
to
fucking
do
in
it.
these YouTube
Well, no,
streets
it's not.
now.
Well, where I'm going with
It's
this.
probably 10 times as many as mine.
It's
Of course,
a
some
decent
would,
amount.
but a lot
But
of
it's cringe to
would
talk
don't
about
know.
because I'm not here to like fucking jerk off over like fucking.
I understand.
Sure.
Where I was going with that is like when was the last time you were with a guy besides Destiny?
I don't remember.
A year ago, 2 years ago, 3
I'm
years
not
ago?
really
Probably
that
within a
into
year, I
men,
think,
you know?
right? I think.
Something like that.
About
but
a year ago.
I think within, yeah.
Oh shit.
Keeping
When
a ticket
that
tracker?
happened, like, did you feel comfortable with it based on the amount of
generally,
communication?
this is the way that I approach it. If I'm going to hook up with somebody, it's kind of weird if your partner is out like fucking somebody or hanging out with somebody in like a semi-romantic way, and then your partner's just like at home doing anything, like nothing. So
Right.
usually if I'm going out doing something, hopefully she's got like similar plans, and then vice versa. If she's got plans, then I've got plans. So no, we don't usually feel bad about it because we're doing something together generally.
So it doesn't create insecurity for you guys at all?
As much insecurity as like any like normal relationship. Like there might be times. The only time I think that insecurity comes creeping in is if there are other problems in the relationship. So for instance, like if we're fighting a lot and then somebody tries to like hook up with somebody, then like that might cause people to feel a little bit weird. But like otherwise, no, it's just neither of us care that much about it. If we did, we wouldn't have an open relationship.
I mean, I get turned on by it, so.
You get turned on by him hooking up with other chicks?
Yeah, so you're a cuck.
Cuck
Yes.
queen.
Yeah, I like
Cuck
that.
queen.
At least you can admit. At least you can admit it.
Exactly.
Wait, can I ask the
Yeah,
panel
it is
what
now.
the interest or like the angle is for interrogating their relationship to this extent?
For me, I just genuinely don't know, so I'm going straight to the source.
Yeah, I'm not interrogating them. I personally am just curious about it.
Feels a little bit
Well,
like
I mean, there are some ladies I know in the adult industry. I talk to them about women and stuff like that who I'm out with. They get turned on, and some of them, I tell them, hell no, I'm not introducing you to one of my girlfriends because I know you want to fuck them. I know you don't want them. I just want some time, whatever, and then if she wants to be with you or whatever, fine, whatever. But geez, it's like, nuh-uh, girl, nuh-uh. Wait, just wait your turn. And it's like, well, what does she look like? What does she look like this? Like, hold on, wait a minute. Stop that. Me and you, then if you guys want to get together, you guys get together and do whatever you want. You want to have a threesome, foursome, or whatever, fine. But otherwise,
you guys are basically this close to like, so we already asked like, do you like it in the ass? Like, do you like flavored lube?
Aaron, you're projecting interrogation onto me where it doesn't exist. I'm asking because I just know for myself.
Is it curiosity? Is that the angle?
It's curiosity,
Okay.
and I'm kind of probing into it because it's like I can't imagine being in a situation where my girl was hooking up with another guy and it wouldn't drive me insane. And so if it doesn't drive them insane, I'm curious.
Why were you
like,
curious
why is
about
that?
the number of men?
Just because it's an interesting
It
question.
gotta come from somewhere.
It's an
You gotta
interesting
be a
question.
little more creative
It's
about
an
it.
interesting question.
You're a smart guy. You can be a little bit more creative about
There's
it.
15,000 people watching, and I'm sure a lot of them would be curious.
So it's for the content.
It's a juicy
Of course,
question.
it's a juicy
It's not
question.
like I'm
Exactly.
genuinely curious. It's like you're not trying to bring
it's
the
like
content.
There's an element of curiosity, and there's also an element where I'm trying to make an interesting show for all the people that are watching.
I feel like just because they're in an open relationship, maybe that doesn't mean they should be subjected to like particularly
Subjected? They
invasive
voluntarily
questions.
came
You don't even have relationships.
Somebody volunteers.
You don't have any relationships. What are you contributing? Why do you care? You haven't had one or anything. Whether you even had a kiss or not is subjective. You didn't answer whether you've had sex or not.
Volunteers that they're in a monogamous
Why
relationship.
are you speaking on behalf of Destiny?
Yeah,
I don't.
well,
If
I'm
he
not
has
a
an
lawyer.
issue, if he has an
You hadn't had a relationship, babe.
questions we're asking him.
No,
then-
I'm curious myself. Like, I didn't expect that half the panel already would be just about their relationship.
Well, it's interesting.
Can we talk about you then?
Aaron,
What-
hold on.
Yeah, let's talk about you.
Let's focus on you then, dude. You don't have much to
We just talk about
contribute.
you, but you keep dodging all the questions, so we're
Yeah,
gonna
you
ask them.
do.
We can go to you.
Yeah, you're
No, let's go to
dodgy.
you. Are you a virgin?
You just did it again.
Someone's
Yeah, you're dodgy. Why did you?
Why wouldn't I want
Why
to
did you
do
get
that?
in?
I don't want to steal the
Here.
attention, but you came to a dating show and you've
Yeah.
avoided all the questions about your
Yeah,
dating
you're
life.
dodgy.
Yeah.
You're
Besides the
dodgy.
fact that
Questions
you've
about
never
my
been
sex
on a
life
date.
or my dating life?
It's kind of all under the
Both.
same umbrella.
Both. You're dodging both.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Faith.
Except for dating.
You're on a dating
Come on.
podcast, and you don't think that your dating life is up for discussion.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't say that.
It's
I
all
don't know
it's all
that, like-
connected.
I
It's
want
all
to
connected.
ask
Come on.
some questions for the monogamous people in that
Okay.
case.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Wait,
if you
virgin? Confirm or deny? Just give us something. Give us a
Really,
Or
this is
just
like
say,
the
I want to
most
answer.
pressing topic for the dating.
It's literally a
podcast.
yes or no. It'll take you 1 second to answer the question.
Is it about the duration of how long it takes to answer a question like that?
You're dodging.
What's
Just say you
up
don't
with
want
history?
to
Why didn't
answer
you
it,
answer
or just.
I mean, you were evasive about why you were like excavating
I said
their
because I was
relationship.
curious and because it's good content.
After,
and it's
after
juicy
a lot of
question.
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
deliberation mentally, I feel like Fresh is the best one for her from the Fresh and Fit podcast. I feel like she fits the archetype that Fresh goes after.
What archetype is that?
chubby
Just
white
say
girl.
don't feel comfortable answering it. You never had a sex or
Shots fired.
Be honest.
Just joking,
Don't-
Fresh. Love you.
Although I had a question for you.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Thanks, Plan Life.
You said earlier, with respect to like the dancing thing,
Yes.
you said it would be a boundary of yours to not let your partner or wife dance with another man.
Correct.
Is that really a boundary, or isn't that more of an agreement? I feel like a boundary is something that you say that I'm
with
going
a man,
to do.
with another man. I sort of get that. I mean, it depends how she's dancing with another guy. For me, and stuff like that, it's what type and everything. You know, and if she dances with another guy, she just gets too much. I take away from that guy. I fuck her like crazy. Or remind her who her guy is. That's just me. I feel like I have to remind her, this is why you're with me. It's like, if they get too close to do stuff, it'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be like, yeah, I'd be pissed off if it's too much, yeah. You know, so.
Or abstain. But I don't know that a boundary could really like include. I don't really think of them that way. I think of boundaries as things that like I would independently decide I don't want to do or I do want to engage.
And I'm not going to be there at watch. I'm not.
Focus on the conversation.
Steven.
Yeah, I would.
I know.
You fucked me. You lied to me.
Look back to your stupid Game
They're talking
Boy.
about the difference between a boundary and an agreement and a contract. Continue.
I just know when you do your streams, like you're playing Factorio and shit.
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay.
Don't let her
I
dodge
can
the
answer.
virgin question.
Okay.
No, I actually want to interject. It's so
here.
fucking.
Go ahead.
No,
Let me
interject. You just
Let her go.
Okay, hey.
Let her go.
Let me
and then-
clarify
Okay,
her
I
boundary
just wait.
statement.
I just want to say
Go ahead.
something. Earlier, you guys were talking about traditional relationships.
What?
I was raised in a Hispanic traditional Catholic family household.
That's
the
traditional.
idea that dancing ballroom or dancing in general is non-traditional to me is insane because like all of South America, Central America, Spain, you know, they dance salsa, they dance merengue. That is part of the culture, and a lot of people there are very traditional, very Hispanic Catholic.
Well,
so to me, there is
hold
a
on.
discrepancy
The
there.
issue is not with the actual dancing. The issue is with dancing with someone who's
For
not
me,
your partner.
That's
Do they
that's
white?
what
They do.
That's
White.
what
Is that what they do?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
it's
it is.
literally
White.
just part of the culture. You
Yeah, it's
just-
part of the
yeah,
culture.
part
It's
of my
that
culture.
Latino,
I was literally born and
Latino
raised
part of
in
my
that
culture.
When it comes
It's
to the
hot
reaction
sauce.
to that video that I brought up, it was because of the context around it. If
No,
it were
hold
just
on.
two
No, no,
random
wait.
people,
The-
I don't think that they
Should we
would've
watch the
reacted.
Wait, hold
video?
on. No.
Should
To
we
be
watch-
clear, the
We should
react.
watch
No.
the video,
You can watch it if
actually.
you want, but the
Let's
reaction.
watch the video.
If you're okay with it. If
Yes,
you're
if
okay.
you want. No, I don't
If you're
care. You
okay.
can watch
If you're
it all
okay.
you want. I'll jerk off to it for you.
What
You can watch
kind?
The show, okay?
Can we
Listen.
record it? I have an OnlyFans.
Just do it under the table.
Yeah, as long as
You have
you're paying for it,
OnlyFans?
okay?
52.
Hold on. The issue is not the reaction to the video, or even the context around it. The issue is that right now, everybody in like the red pill like culture that's like taking over like online shit is like obsessed with like cuck and everything related to it. So much
It
that I think
is.
it's actually a hidden fantasy for a lot of the people
It
that talk
is.
about it. Where like if a guy
It
is
is.
talking to somebody else or a girl is talking to somebody else, like cuck. Like people
Yeah.
talk about it incessantly. It's like fucking insane.
Yeah, it's
More so than it would have
obsessive.
been like even
Yes,
5 or 10
yeah.
years
You think
ago.
it's like
And then
projection?
It
it's
is.
some kind of weird obsession
It
with
is.
like being cucked or cucked. Like to the point where on some of these shows, I don't think I've heard it here, but people
It
will
is
say things like if your
obsession.
girlfriend has like a high body count, you start dating her, you got cucked. Or like if your girlfriend is like talking to another guy in a way that's getting
It
cucked. It
is
reminds me
being
of like the old
cucked. It
4chan
is.
copy pasta.
That's exactly
where it's
what
like
it
the
is.
ultimate cuck is a father
don't
that
know
raises a
anything
daughter
about, yeah.
because he's preparing his daughter's pussy to get plowed by some other guy.
Whoa.
And that's like the
Yeah.
ultimate
Dark.
cuck. Like I'm just saying that
man.
like the obsession with like the cuck shit is like
That's
insane. I don't think it has
not the
anything to do with
analogy
me
I'd
for the
want
dancing.
to
Because like she
use.
said, in a lot of traditional cultures, a lot of people dance. And if you do like ballroom dance or competition, you're not only competing with a boyfriend,
That's
right? You're
correct,
like dancing with like partners and other people that have been practicing with you and everything. So I just think the obsession has to do with like the current culture around like the whole
I don't
cuck and
think
like
that
dating
there's
shit.
an obsession. I think that
It is an obsession, it
cuckoldry
is.
and other weird fetishes are being
It's its
pushed
own
in both
phenomenon.
pornography and pop culture, and people are just responding to
Yeah.
that because they
Absolutely
don't
not.
like it.
I think that
Cuckoldry is an
It's a
actual
phenomenon.
fetish.
It's
It's
a-
really
it's
real.
I think that people
obsession,
recognize
it is.
degeneracy
It's
and they
crazy.
naturally
This is
say
it.
something
There you
towards
go.
it.
So it's it's like this weird like degenerate angle, and then like the red pill
Right.
stuff, and kind of the tradcon stuff, and the
Well, there are
fighting
some
against like the
people
perceived
that believe
wokeism stuff.
there's a right way to express sexuality and a wrong way, and I guess you're saying there's not a right or wrong.
I never said that at all. There's plenty like
Well, you put
Well, that's the thing is that idiots like to project. They like to force their traditional values or their own, thoughts of what is moral, what's right, what's wrong about a relationship, any relationship or anybody, and force their views by making fun of people and calling them a cuck. If they're not a cuck, they just like to make up a bunch of BS about it. That's pretty much it. It is an obsession. It is about, someone's stupid morals or values. And me, it's just like, I don't even care what people do that much. It's really nobody's fucking business. It's not mine, not yours, or hardly anybody else. It's just, and everybody feels like they have to force their views, their agendas on other people, and that's bullshit. I don't like people like that. I don't.
Degeneracy and weird in air quotes.
Well, because
Is there
she said
anything that you would
degenerate.
consider sexually degenerate?
Yeah, but he said we weren't allowed to talk about some of that.
So those subjects, would you
fair
say
enough.
those are the only things that
Stay tuned
qualify
for
as
Rumble.
degenerate?
But you're allowed to partake in it.
In broad speaking terms, as long as people are exercising or practicing some sexual thing that's between them and it's not hurting anybody else, in general, I think it's probably okay for people to do that. If you want to have like a pure monogamous relationship, if you want to be abstinent until you get married or whatever, and that's how you want to explore, I think that's totally fine. But it seems like people from some backgrounds find that they can be incredibly judgmental of other people's like sexual exploration, which is really weird to me because they'll get like really fixated on it.
Well,
like I've never had a conversation before where I'm like, what's it like to like only have your husband or boyfriend's dick like going in and out of your pussy, like these like really explicit conversations. But then people come to me and it's like, what do you think about like your wife like fucking other guys and shit? And it's like, it's really weird that I'll get like really, or like even earlier he's like, so you're bisexual. I think you asked me, right? Do you fuck guys in the ass if you take dick in your ass? So I'm like, Jesus, that's a really simple thing. You asked if I was a top or bottom, right? That's essentially what you're asking, right? Which is fine. I don't care. Like, the explicit questions are fun, and I'm used to dealing with it. But it's interesting to me that based on my lifestyle, I'll get like these really explicit questions, and I feel like if you're in a more traditional relationship, if somebody asked you that, you'd be like, whoa, that's like way over the line. Which I think is an interesting
Like, there's
observation.
probably questions that we could ask the monogamous people, right?
Yeah,
That would be
you were
really
very
harsh.
offended by that, I guess.
What?
By me asking.
There's nothing you can say that will offend me, I
Look,
promise.
I think people ask questions about your relationship because I would say the vast majority, they don't think that it's normal or conducive to a flourishing long-term relationship.
And that's fine.
Especially a marriage. They think
marriages are not what they used to. There's over 50% fail rate with marriage nowadays. Over. I mean, if marriages were around, I mean, the thing is, people are doing this in their caves or whatever, their own private areas. I mean, stuff was happening before people got married, and some of them still did stuff or whatever. It's just everything is a lot more quiet. But now with the internet and everything is like way out, blown out, and everything. And it's like, what is traditional is like, there are these people that want to fight. No, it has to be this way, or you're a sex deviant, or bad or evil person, or you're a cuck or whatever. That's not. It's all bullshit and everything else, and how people want to force their own morals. And a lot of people are jealous. If you have more than one person, are jealous because they can't have that either. So there's a lot of different things.
it's fundamentally humiliating to a man to not have sexual exclusivity with his wife.
And that's totally fine, but the way that the questions are phrased was, I'm just curious. But it's not a curiosity.
I didn't say that, but...
Sure, that's fine.
Said that.
It's not an actual curiosity.
I'm critical.
That's fine. Yeah, there's a normative loading of like, you're doing something that I don't approve of, and now I'm going to question you on it, which is fine. But like, if we want to get into that, then we can get into that.
Well, I mean,
rather than like oh well, I'm just curious. Like, does it bother you that somebody else might like come on your wife? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, yeah, I don't know.
Let's back up a second.
Yeah, sure.
You're kind of projecting that the disapproval does exist, but the
well, I'm not projecting because these two at least have explicitly said it, right?
Yeah,
so it does exist.
I just think it's not necessarily. It's not necessarily that the questions are rooted in disapproval. It's more just that like your guys' relationship dynamic is it's a taboo in society, so people are curious and they have questions, right?
Well, I think you're curious. Well, I don't know. I'm treating you as good faith that you're curious. But like these two at the very least, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with being disapproving, but these two questions are coming from like don't you realize that this is really bad? Is like that's like the angle of the question basically.
It's
which
not
is fine,
like understanding or curiosity.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna bully you for what you're doing in your
Which
life.
is fine.
Do you guys feel bullied by that?
I don't feel bullied. I love it.
Melina does a little bit.
No, it's just like negativity, not understanding.
Do you guys
not
want to
like
react
being
to the video
curious
in
or
question?
anything. It's just being like
Yeah, you want to watch it? We
really,
can
really
watch it.
fast.
Yeah,
you know?
Eric, can you work on trying to find what would be a
It was
good
posted on
keyword
Twitter
for
a
us
bunch.
to?
I mean, when you're
I don't
so
want to do
open
the
about
hold on.
it.
I don't want to do the video where there's like the music over it. I
You
want
do the
like
video with the music and the Zoom if you want. whatever you want to do.
Copyright?
Okay?
Hello?
No copyright strike.
Try to find just ABBA Destiny dancing video. While we do that, I just have
Pretty sure you can go to Rollo's Twitter or Andrew Tate's Twitter. Everybody's retweeted the video, so you can find it on there probably.
Wait, I'm kind of curious. How do you guys define degeneracy? Like, what do you guys? Do
Yeah,
you guys
how
have like
do
a
you
general
define
definition
it?
for it, or do you just say like, oh, I don't like that, it's
I
degenerate?
mean,
If you don't
I don't know about you guys.
agree
I
with
would
it,
personally
they're
say
called
off the cuff
degenerates.
things that like degenerate the stability of society, right?
Things that are contributing to the fall.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, but
So like
this
this
is
So what I do and other stuff like that, it has to do with your opinion, not so much as fact. It has to do with stupid religious opinion or whatever. That's not even, there's so much other stuff that's really contributing to societal failure and destroying society. But sex, you're saying sex with people is contributing to that? Bullshit. Bullshit.
Examples, Chase.
yeah, like this is still a very
What'd you
general
say?
definition.
Examples of degeneracy.
Examples of degeneracy, I would say like women getting ran through in their 20s. I think polyamory is degenerate. No offense. I think it has if it was to be widespread throughout society, I think it would really tear and rip at the fabric of society, and things would fall apart very quickly.
Don't like, isn't it like 20?
Homosexuality, transsexuality, and then like stuff like alcoholism, addiction, all these kind of things.
really
like I think all of that's degenerate.
Okay,
That's how I would define
and
it.
your definition of
But
degeneracy
all
is
of it
basically
is.
if everybody did it, then society would fall apart, and that's why it's degenerate if just one person does it.
It's degenerate for both society at large and also for individuals, right? Like homosexuality, for example, there's a lot of homosexuals that have early mortality because of the diseases that are associated with homosexuality. You could also say the same for people that have, do rampant fornication, get STDs through that. It's degenerate for the individual as well. And
It really doesn't matter. I mean, everybody sleeps around all the time nowadays. Most people do a lot of sleeping around. It isn't like, this isn't the 1950s, all right, little brother, where it's like people wait until they're married. People don't do that anymore. It's very rare and stuff. So to say that homosexuality, trans sex, and all sort of stuff does this more, I mean, it doesn't matter so much if you're straight or if it's bi, lesbian or trans sex. It has to do with how many partners a person has. Your multiplier, it's a multiplier. It doesn't matter if you're straight, if it's guy, girl, trans or whatever. It doesn't. It just doesn't matter. After the multiplier, if you're straight, you had all these other women, or for your girl, you had all these guys. The multiplier effect, it doesn't matter. You get an STD no matter what if you're not having safe sex. That's what it's about.
Wear a part of their body, their mind, their soul, all these things, right? It's very unhealthy on an individual level and on a societal level as well.
And you're worried about this specifically degenerating the West? Like homosexuality, all of this cuckoldry?
I would say
that
the
evidence
the evidence is abundant that it is currently degenerating the
It is
West.
already degenerating at a massive rate.
Yeah, gender bending, sodomy,
Again,
homosexuality.
it doesn't matter. You're putting your own views, religious views into this. Like I said, if you're, guy, girl, boy, girl, or whatever, having sex, with multiple people, you have the chance to get an STD. If it's guy, girl, having X amount has that multiplier to get an STD. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're gay and you have just one person, but if you're straight and you have multiple partners, that person's having multiple partners has that multiplier effect of getting STDs, whereas the gay couple or lesbian couple or trans couple that doesn't have all that lovers or whatever, they have less risk getting STD versus a straight couple that, that's going on having all these lovers. again, you can't relegate STDs to just one side. This isn't the 1980s where AIDS epidemic just started. This isn't the 80s, this isn't the 90s and stuff like that, in the early 2000s. This is what it is now. So
Sexuality, these things have never happened in Europe. That's so true.
They have. They were symptoms of like the declining societies. I mean,
no, they're
we're not the
not.
first people to think that you can like have sex with a guy or change your gender. I mean, there have been sexual revolutions in different capacities throughout history, and no society has ever survived those types of revolutions. Typically, like a sign of the decline happening.
Sodom and
That's
Gomorrah.
not true. That's,
Do you think our
that's
society
what
is on the
these
brink of collapse?
religions do,
I don't know if
think
I would say
it's-
the brink. I think that's alarmist, but we're definitely headed in the wrong direction.
Every marker of a healthy
That's pretty much how religions paint them. Those are not rooted in all fact. I mean, let's say like Rome and how they had all these orgies and stuff like that. It didn't help. There was a decline, and that's because of drunkenness as well and everything. I gotta be fair about this. There's a lot of other factors besides sexuality. There's drugs. There's types of alcohol and stuff that contribute to a decay and stuff like that. I'm not going to go by stupid religious bullshit because they skew their analytics and their percentages and stuff like that.
America's heading in the opposite direction.
Just because of what people are doing in the bedroom.
I don't think that
It's
our
not just
society
because
is
of
actually
that.
capable
No.
of
Yeah,
collapse.
do you
I think
think-
it's too sophisticated.
Yeah,
I
I
disagree.
was about to
Part
ask,
of
do you
it.
think these things are what were the cause of collapse, or do you think that there are other factors like
There
economic
are a lot of
factors
other
or factors
factors.
relating to, like, let's say, illness, disease, widespread that might be the cause
Yeah, there
or
is.
the causes of the societies falling?
The only
Yeah,
disease
there's
killing America is
diseases,
like the woke mind
epidemics.
virus, where everybody's just like
Like
trying.
people can say what they want about sex in Rome, these other places. You had that volcano that went out that just blew its lid. You had drugs. You had alcoholism. You had migrants that were taking over Rome. Oh my God! Look at his fucking face. Holy shit! His eyes just popped. What out? Wow! Look at her face. Oh my fucking God! There are different things that happen. There are epidemics that also happen that kills off a population. It's the government as well. Just like there's problems with our government, there's government problems, stuff like that with the Senate, emperors, migrants that have happened in different societies and different dynasties and everything else over time. So there's
I like how he said there was a literal disease killing America that like
Kind of
conservatives
is.
wouldn't even recognize.
It
as being an
kind of
actual
is.
thing.
Come on, because even you, like,
Also the
as like
obesity
progressive. Hold on,
crisis,
as progressive as you are, like, you see, sometimes these people are too fucking crazy.
I fight with them all the time.
No,
but
I
I also
agree, I agree.
recognize that like conservatives are literally telling people not to get vaccinated, but we think that like gay people are like ruining society more than that. But
Well, there's good reason for
No,
that though.
no,
Yes, there is.
Tell us the reason.
Well,
Why is gay people?
I
ruining
saw
society?
one woman take the
That
vaccine.
wasn't what I was speaking to.
Listen, I saw one woman take the vaccine and become retarded. That was enough for me to be like, no, I'm just not gonna fucking do it. You know,
What's the
Okay,
TOS
I saw one
on talking about
person
the
not take the
vaccines?
vaccine and die. That was
Yeah,
enough for me
you
to
can't
feel
talk
like
about
Let's
it.
avoid the
anecdotal.
vaccine talk. Let's avoid the vaccine
No,
talk.
no, I
guys.
do agree though, because like especially with like Hollywood and TikTok is like predominantly used by teens, and the algorithms sort
vaccine
of cater
fucked me
towards
up. It
left-leaning
did. It
ideals,
did
like,
fuck
oh,
me up.
there's
Oh,
this,
good.
there's
Oh,
that,
yes,
and it's sort of teaching kids that this is what you have to be, this is the right way to think, and it
Okay,
sort of
that's
shames
too
them
much,
into
I
forming
know.
their own opinions.
I mean, it's
It did
controlled by
fuck people
China. I
up.
mean,
It
it's
did
controlled
fuck
by
people
China
up
and
as well.
ByteDance. Like, if the actual
So-
Chinese TikTok Douyin is actually feeding their population way different stuff, like engineers, scientists. Like, these kids over in China, like, the number one career they want to be is like an astronaut. In America, it's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the
That's
TikTok
bad.
algorithm is probably fifth generation warfare that China is using
1000%.
to
China
continually
hates
divide
America.
America and
China
push us
number
towards
one.
a
China-
collapsed civil war scenario.
If you
China
talk to like
number one.
Main Street, like regular people behind the firewall in China, they don't fucking like America at all. At all. And
Well,
they're
they're
like totally down for
brainwashed.
Chinese domination.
Wait, do
We're
you
their,
guys
hold
know?
on. We're their
You-
biggest.
Look, a lot of people don't know about the movies that China and North Korea and stuff put out on, it's anti-Japanese, etc. Is that a lot of these movies, they like to brainwash people and say white people or Americans are Europeans or Japanese are evil. And so it's a brainwashing that the Chinese and North Koreans are doing to say that we are the enemy. And people don't know that what's going on with China and North Korea and how they got games where they're making games to kill Americans, that we are terrorists and stuff like that. So the Chinese are putting out movies that just hate Americans, Japanese and stuff like that. It's really bad.
Trading partner. Where do Chinese people
kind of
send
losing focus though, because this is a dating podcast. So
well, but
maybe
I
we
think,
should
but I think it's
recalibrate.
important because it's never just a dating podcast. I notice this with a lot of this kind of like red
Oh.
pill stuff. Is that like everything?
I didn't cut you off for record. I wanted to hear your perspective.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't see you coming up. Did you?
No.
Oh,
Just
no.
continue with your thought, please.
Yeah, there's like, it's never just about like dating or just about TikTok. It's always got to be part of this grander plan to like I like how we get into this conversation like, well, what about your relationship? Well, I think this is causing the fall of the West. And it's like, holy shit! Like, gee, I didn't know a guy like getting fucked by another dude is like causing like America to lose its position as
I'm
like
so
the head of the
curious how
hegemony.
that works.
It
Tell
feels
me.
like everything is like tied into like these
I want to
grander
know
global narratives.
why
and-
is gay sex causing damage to society?
Okay, so
Yeah, 'cause
that's
it's
a great
not.
question. What I would
It's
say
not.
is the family is
It's
at
our
the
stuff.
bedrock of civilization as a whole. If you have a nation full of healthy families, then you're going to have a healthy nation, right? But there's an attack on the nuclear family. Feminism is a prime example, right? Feminism
That's
is something that
not bad.
divides men and
That's-
women. It causes a lot of
feminism's
tension in
not
households.
toxic.
And as a result of that, that's one thing that contributes to broken families. If you have a nation that's full of broken families, you have a nation that's slowly going to fall apart, and we see that happening right now.
Aren't a lot
What
of
does
like
that have to do with
aren't a lot of
homosexuality?
heterosexual like marriages ending in divorce anyway? So it has nothing to do with gay sex or anything like
Okay,
that.
yeah,
There's
so
a lot of
your
like
question
there's
was
a lot
framed-
of family that's already breaking apart for other reasons.
So
why are you not focusing on those sort of things?
So let's.
Yeah.
I'll answer it in the frame
Why
of
are you
homosexuality.
focusing on the drugs and, illegals and all this other stuff that's happy and violence that's happy? There's other stuff, sex, I think sex helps. If anything, sex helps. I mean, you're not committing crimes, you're not committing felonies, robberies, and all this other stuff. Sex is a thing of peace and love and everything else, that it's a gift and everything. To say that's, unless it's forced and illegal, that's different. That's where it becomes, it destroys, different societies.
Sexuality. Have you seen like any of the data on population collapse that's projected in the next like 50 years? There's a lot of countries around the world that are not
I think
having
we're
children at the
overpopulated
replacement rate
myself.
necessary in order to continue maintaining their society. Have you seen any of that data?
I'm very familiar with it. Yeah.
Okay, so like Elon Musk talks about this all the time. If
I
you look at the
don't
data
agree
on
with
homosexuality,
his
like a few
BS.
generations ago, it was like less than 2% of people were homosexual. Then it was 5%, 10%. Gen Z, they're around like 23% identifying as LGBTQ.
Hold on, whoa.
So you're saying that people should be able to choose what kind of sex? I mean, keep kids out of it. Keep kids out of it. Don't have it in the classroom. That stuff in the classroom. You're 18 to do whatever you want. But the thing is that not letting people have sex with who they want to have sex with and stuff like that. I don't like the stupid religious BS and these idiots are putting out, because they're based and stuff and everything. Those are the people that don't
Clarify, if we're going to do geopolitics, the 20% identifying as LGBTQ are predominantly bisexual. It's
Okay.
not people that are actually becoming gay. Number one. Number two, population collapse is not happening because of degeneracy or LGBT stuff.
I would say it's a contributing factor.
That's fine, but you'd
So
be wrong. The reason why it's happening is because when countries develop and people are given the opportunity to explore lives, they're not just saying like, oh, I'm 22, I'm going to have a ton of kids. That's been the big issue. Now, I feel really strongly about this because there arguably is an issue relating to population collapse. Like, we can talk about replacing people or whatever, but like those conversations need to be intelligent and they have to revolve around what's actually happening, which is women getting access to reproductive control, like birth control, and women entering school and the job market. Those are the two massive driving factors. Because the reality is if you put a bright future in front of somebody and you say, do you want to pursue that, or do you want to have 4 kids by the time you're 24? Most women are reasonably choosing like, oh, I think I'd rather actually like live my life and do this stuff. I'm pretty sure every single woman at this table has probably made the same same choices. All the conservative women that talk about it generally make those same choices, where they'll tell you, like, oh, like, look at just pearly things, right? We'll echo all of the, we need to have kids and blah, 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 and she doesn't either, right? I think that the issue is that we've given women access to all of these things, and they really enjoy it, and now we need to have a conversation, what are we going to do for our future population? Because blaming gay people isn't going to put that back in the box. I think that's the big issue.
Yeah. Those are some fair points.
Also, you do realize
hold on.
that
Let me please, Aaron, hold on a second. Let me respond to everything that he just said.
Sure.
Okay, go for it.
You raised a number of fair points. The idea that like the most attractive thing to women is going out there, making their career, like living their life, so on and so forth, and that's what like basically all these women want, conservative women included. I would rebut that by saying I've heard from thousands of women that are in their early 20s, conservative especially, and all they want is to have kids, but they're finding it difficult to find a man who actually wants marriage and who also can provide for them. Like, I hear from girls every single day, they're like, I wish so bad.
Well, some of that is because of stupid how crazy feminism has gotten, how it's changed, where women are supposed to have everything and stuff, and it should be equal and stuff like that. What a man and woman could do should be equal. None should be over the other, you know, and everything. Now it's just gone fucking crazy ape shit with feminism and everything. But I mean, when it comes to population and stuff like that, you know, people should be who they want to be and stuff like that. You know, it's just people should be open to being as to being told how they should be. I don't like anybody. I have no respect for anybody that tries to tell me or other people how, you know, what sexuality they should be. That goes for religious or non-religious people. You know, I say let people find that themselves. Let kids find that for themselves without being brainwashed by stuff in school or whatever. You know, let them find out on their own and stuff. I mean, the thing is also with marriage, it's just most people were forced to stay in marriage in the old days. A lot of people did not want to stay married in the old days. They didn't. They were forced into that. They had to stay in it because of money, because, you know, their husband was making all the money. They didn't want to get divorced because of, you know, traditional parents said you can't get a divorce. Now it's more acceptable. There's good and bad with all this stuff. And me, I'm not going to waste my time trying to invest in a marriage. If I find the right woman, you know, and get married, good for me. If I don't, so what? I'm not going to invest any more time at my age into a stupid marriage that could collapse or a relationship. I'm done with that BS. I'm too old for that. I don't care for it.
Badly, I could find a guy who would want to get married and would want to have kids with me, okay? That, like, the idea that all these women would just want to go out there and, like, live their lives and have their careers and stuff, that's not true.
That's great, but I can't argue against your thousands of women. All I can do is look at stats.
Well, there's also stats showing that women are increasingly less happy.
Yeah, stats on happiness have been notoriously difficult to track. But if we look at actual behaviors, women are for instance, what we would have said 40 or 50 years ago is women don't really like school and they're not going to sit in math class because women just don't learn like that. They don't enjoy doing that. And what we've seen is when we open schools to women, not only are they doing really well, they potentially outcompete men in schools. They might even be more geared towards like learning in a classroom environment than men who would rather like go outside and play and like be more physical, right? So I think we have to be careful with this assumption that women are built to want to have children and do that a ton, because women are overwhelmingly choosing to go to college and go get jobs and like enter the career field. I think that if we just work on the assumption that, well, they don't really want to do that, we're going to be having the same conversation in 20, 30, 40 years, and people like you're going to be like, well, I don't know what's happening. Is it the woke people pushing women?
I don't like how there's a segment that says women have to be like this and just be in the home, fix food, stuff like that. I mean, I know women on both sides that would let them do what the fuck they want. Not have some idiots tell them how they should live their lives. This goes for men or women. Do what you want. Fuck what everyone else says. Who cares? Be yourself. Do what you want.
to go to college, or I don't know, like, well, I've talked to hundreds of women that seem unhappy. Well, if you're really a woman, I mean, this is true. If you're 21, 22, 23, and you're looking to have a family and settle down, you can do it. You're going to find a man that'll want to do it, but you can't live in.
They can't.
You can.
They can't.
But the problem is they want
really
that.
struggle.
They want that, but then they want to live in LA, Miami, New York, Austin.
A lot of them don't.
No, they
I
don't.
promise you. I promise you. Hold on, I'll give this. If you're a woman and you want to find a husband that will take care of you, just have kids, go to the fucking Midwest. Go to fucking Montana. Go to fucking. There's tons of places where you can find men that will do this, but you don't want to do that. You want to live in one of the 10 most expensive cities in the United States.
Okay.
You want to have a fun life. You want to have
a fair point.
Yeah, that's the issue. Right?
That's a fair point. But to go back to the original subject, I would say, like, hookup culture, our current dating culture, that is especially incentivizes, like, the red pill stuff, that especially incentivizes men to, like, increase their value and go and hook up with as many women as they possibly can. Like, that's something that's degenerate, that's decreasing the birth rates. To just pass off the whole, like, LGBTQ rates increasing as a non-factor when it comes to population replacement, I don't think that's fair. Obviously, if you have a quarter of your population that's not interested in heterosexual monogamous relationships.
So not a quarter. Those are mainly bisexual, and a lot of them are women.
even bisexual, like the people that are being conditioned by our culture to be interested in that, like, that's obviously going to have a negative effect on birth rates. So
that's a different video and everything, and I see different sides to that and everything. I don't want kids brainwashed into certain sexuality and stuff like that. Leave kids the fuck out of it. I don't like how it is in schools nowadays and everything. I believe you should find out on your own. I don't want religion doing that. I don't want the schools and teachers doing that. Kids should learn that on their own throughout life and find their sexuality and stuff like that. And I mean, I'll put that and then that here. Hope everyone has a good morning, noon, night, wherever you are, and leave a comment, tell me what you think. Peace out. Hey, wait, wait. I did have one here. This is for the Onlyfans thing. Let me get this real quick. I was about to, and let me see. Do I have it? I need to do this stuff real quick. Because I've done OnlyFans work and stuff. Let me see. He's going to have his own agenda in it, but I'm not.
Okay, we played clips from the Whatever podcast, a very viral clip from that show. Seen a lot of those.
Walsh.
But it's not just some ditzy girl making a fool of herself.
A lot of things will be hard for you to comprehend. That's why you're in sex work, because you can't offer.
Let me see. I don't like this guy. I think he's a piece of shit. I'm just saying that. Because how he does it, he's just attacking her and everything. So
it'll be hard for you to comprehend. That's why you're in sex work, because you can't offer value in the marketplace.
What the fuck?
Don't worry.
Yeah, we actually do. We're giving people, what we're doing is giving people what you can't give them. Sex. We're giving them pleasure. You can't do that. All you do is have your shit come out of your mouth and stuff like that. That's what I don't like about your dumb ass and everything. We're giving people pleasure, which you can't do, obviously. You have shit come out of your mouth.
I'm not really talking to you. I'm speaking against you as a symbol.
A symbol of what?
A symbol of a declining society where
you're declining of stupid society with your stupid religious bullshit. You need to shut the fuck up more and let mind your own fucking business, and let's do what the fuck we want to do. If I want to do OnlyFans, if I want to have sex, I could do it and say fuck you up, whatever. There's a lot of stuff I could do. This guy needs to shut the fuck up more and everything. It pisses me off.
People lack values. Mm-hmm. So the point is this: if you had IQ and skills to offer to the market,
I've done intelligence stuff. I've done stuff on military. I've done stuff for gaming companies. I've done betas. I've done work in office, private, social sector. I've done coding. I've done computer work, computer jobs. What the fuck do you do to mouth off your stupid ass That's what I want to know. Because that's what you're doing. You have stuff coming out, smelling up stuff out of your ass.
Marketplace, you can earn a good income. Being that the most valuable thing about you is something that you never earned. You didn't earn knowledge, you didn't earn skills. It's your breast that you paid for and your butthole. So you market that to earn money.
Well, if that's what she wants to do, she should be able to do it.
Which is to say, if I took your brain and placed your brain into a man's body, you would be in poverty.
I'm just good for nothing. Yep.
What about, I mean, if a guy wants to do that, I mean, which I was doing and stuff like that, that's me. If I want to do that, you don't want to do that, mind your own fucking business and stuff. I've done all kinds of jobs and stuff like that. All kinds of different jobs. I've done a lot of jobs that I know you look stupid doing.
No, you are good for something. That's why you have OnlyFans. And that's my point, is that that's what you're good.
There's actually a few clips from.
There probably is. Let me see. I want to go over this. It just pisses me off. I don't like Matt Walsh on a lot of different things. I just want to go over that. Let me see. Before I go, let me see here. Let me see this here.
If you had to choose between, if you could only pick one, marriage or career, which would you choose? If you had to choose.
Here it is.
Can we do that?
Yeah, can I add one thing? So is it great, amazing career or beautiful, healthy family?
That's correct.
Is that,
Okay. Okay, that was a
If you
good
had to choose. Now, you can have both in life, but if you could only pick one.
I would say marriage. Marriage.
Career.
Yeah,
for
the
me.
healthy
Career.
family.
I want career.
Family.
Marriage.
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 They're
Marriage.
traditional.
Can I answer the other question?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I actually want to back him up on.
This is the thing where a lot of their podcasts are based and everything, where they have one type for certain part of their podcast and stuff like that. It is based ones and everything. Obviously, they're having the traditional for this type of podcast, so they can attack Onlyfans people or whatever.
You know, you're not really in your prime once you turn 30. I know I got married at age 23. I mean, I was pretty. I was an athlete. Married the wrong guy. Became obese.
Oof.
Yeah, not now, obviously. But yeah, once I divorced him after I turned 30, the dating pool was vastly smaller.
Well, thank you for defending me. I could have used you a couple months ago. So
I'm in Phoenix, so.
No, that's right. We should talk. No, and the last question that I'll ask is, I want you to think about it. If every single one of you said marriage, are you making deliberate steps every day to get closer to that goal, or are you making steps to get closer to the career goal?
That's a good question.
Starting with you, go ahead.
Because I believe that in a marriage, since it is, you're coming together.
I gotta say, this OnlyFans thing, this piece of shit guy saying, a lot of these girls on OnlyFans that I know have done college. They go to college. And look at Lena Paul. She's done astrophysics. She's smarter than that stupid guy that was on there that I just went over. A lot of girls have done college and stuff like that, OnlyFans and stuff. Instead, he says the only use that you are is what you're doing with your ass, your tits, or whatever. That's complete bullshit. There are a lot of us that have done college and stuff like that. Me, I've done some nursing, I've done first aid, I've done computer, I've done hardware, a lot of stuff I've forgotten. But I've done a lot of different things in life. I've done coding, I've done betas for different gaming companies, all kinds of different things. I've also studied law a lot. So there is a lot of different things that I've done and other women OnlyFans have done. So for any piece of shit to say, oh, the only thing you're good at is sex, that is bullshit. And that's what they want to sell you. Is this BS that you're nothing. You're nothing but a piece of ass, you're nothing but tits or whatever. And that's complete bullshit.
Together as a contractual agreement, I do want to provide to a certain extent, just in case my husband can't. I am going towards a career.
Okay.
At the moment.
No, and I only ask just, and again, you don't have to go. We don't have to go on the horn. I think it's important, though, to answer your question. Far too often, we do not tell young ladies, if you have to prioritize one more than the other, would you rather have your tombstone say CEO of a shoe company or loving mother of 3 children and a wife? And if you would rather have loving mother and, of 3 children and a wife, then you should prioritize that more in your early 20s than your career or going to college.
Facts.
Because the tragedy
Facts.
is there are far more single early 30-something women in this country than married 30-something women in this country. It's the fertility rate's the lowest ever been, marriage rate's the lowest ever been, and it's because we tell young ladies you can wait forever to do this, and that's not the case for everybody. It's the case for some people, but not the case for everybody.
With
And I
women,
think
it's usually they stop being fertile. Women usually stop being fertile in their mid-30s or early mid-30s. They stop being fertile. Men, you could do that almost forever. Guys can. Girls, women can't.
it's a tragedy.
I think it's up to them.
I think while even you have a family, you should.
I'm trying here, man.
Even when you have a family, you should still
Uh.
have what happens when the kids are done and they graduate and they move on out of the nest? What does a woman
If
do
you
then?
talk about biology, women do not have a long time. They don't have a long time to be able to have babies. They don't. That's just facts. They only have until early to late, 30s. And 40 is usually the cutoff. 38, 40, that's usually a cutoff for having babies.
Does women just take
Well,
care of... Well, that's assuming
That's
that
a
your-
really
your
smart
children
question,
want
though.
to.
In fact, we are doing everything the opposite. We should say focus on family formation in your early 20s, then go to college in your late 30s.
Sure. But what if you marry
Because
the
college
wrong
will always be
person?
there.
Or...
No,
Yeah, college
that's a
will
very
always
fair
be there,
point.
it will.
Love and life come with a huge risk.
Sure. Yeah.
But the greater risk is dying alone.
But I feel like we also have to acknowledge the fact that one of the reasons why so many women don't want to prioritize marriage right now, just straight out of you're 18, let's work on getting married and having kids and then think about college, is because college gives you so many opportunities that you can focus and work on that directly. You come out of college, you have all these open doors. Whereas if you're 18 and you decide not to go to college because you want to prioritize a marriage, that can go wrong in so many other ways where you have no backup plan. Now you're
Right.
25 making minimum wage, so much farther behind towards a marriage than
Right.
the woman who already graduated college, who has financial stability to be able to have kids and provide for her kids. So that's where
She's right on that, and I think that what's his name? He's focusing on just women being stay-at-home procreating. These girls also want to be able to have a good job instead of be forced into fast food. They want to be able to have a good job to get into stuff like that instead of just being seen as procreators and stuff like that.
That's a fair point. You could always go back to college. I'll reiterate that. However, that's not the problem in America. The problem right now, as it is, because the problem you're talking about was the problem in the 1960s, which is what Gloria Steinem said. If my husband left, I would have no way to feed myself. That was the core essence of her critique.
That's what they're looking at. And that's why they want to do college, is because there isn't always a man for that. I don't like how he and other guys say, hey, you should just get a man. And getting a man is not always the answer. It's not. I don't like that. It isn't. I believe that women also should be able to have, something to fall back on if there isn't a man. And that's where you could put in the argument for they need to go to college and stuff like that. And for him, he's saying, just procreate, and stay in the kitchen. Man will take care. It won't happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't. It happens sometimes, but it's even less and less now where you can. And the woman shouldn't have to depend on a man. A man should depend on a woman for anything. We should be self-dependent. We should be self-dependent, not dependent on somebody else, man or woman. That's the way it should be.
Like if my husband left, I would be having to go to get food stamps because I have no skills except being a stay-at-home mom, which, by the way, is like the most important thing ever, being a stay-at-home mom, but that's a separate issue. So, but right now in America, we've gone to the other extreme, which is you could delay it, you can have kids whenever you want, and we have 15 to 20 million single women in the country that have great careers.
And I feel like another reason why women right now, it's so hard for them to just prioritize having kids is because if you haven't gone to college, got the education, you don't have a husband who also is very financially stable, who's gonna provide for those kids? You know what I mean? We're in times where it's so...
I don't sympathize with that argument as much. First of all, if you get married, by definition, your costs go down because you have two people then paying for rent, right? Or for a mortgage. So you can actually consolidate.
That's if she has a man or a woman or whatever that's taking care of her. But a lot more marriages today are breaking off and they're fails. Or over time becomes a fail. And a woman shouldn't have to depend on a guy. A woman should be able to take care of herself and everything. I mean, it's just like he's not making sense.
But studies actually show men earn more as soon as they get married and have children. Something primal kicks into us. We take a second job. We work extra hours. We figure it out. Men are actually men are super simple. Women are very complicated. Men, as long as we feel appreciated, we feel noticed, and we feel special, and we see our role and our purpose, we will go to the ends of the earth to feed our family. We'll figure it out. And I think we're underselling American men. We say, oh, I wait until I'm 27 or 28. That's fine, but look at the cost of that. And the cost is, right now, just as we're clear, we are on pace 10 years out from now. We're going to have 20 million.
I mean, what happens when the guy isn't there? The women always have to kick in. When the guy isn't there, the woman has to kick in. I know I've been through this stuff and everything. I've seen women on the streets. I've seen women that have no man whatsoever because I'm in a totally different place in this world than you are. You live in a fictional world where men are going to, the fictional marriage and stuff like that when marriages are not working or breaking and stuff like that. And you're living in a fantasy where marriages always work and they don't. And so a woman needs to be able to take care of herself as well.
Something women that never got married or have kids, but they have big apartments and they go on lots of vacations. And I also think that's one of the reasons we're seeing the suicide rate, the anxiety problems, the depression problems in our country. Do you have a thought? Or
yeah, I just feel like how many people that are or how many males that are 20 are ready to get married and ready to
Great
have a
question.
family.
So the question is, which one leads which? Men, yes, but in the 1950s or 1960s, the time we're supposed to hate, young ladies looked at it was my task to find a husband before the age of 25. And it was the most important thing for them. Now, that came with a lot of costs. Some people would say that it was handcuffs and, being in prison. But if young ladies, first and foremost, no offense to my two Australian friends, got off of Onlyfans and stopped, posting naked pictures of themselves online and made themselves harder to get, men would step up to the plate. One of the reasons why men are infants is because women are so easy to get.
So that is yes and no. But, I mean, the thing is, you're not accounting for marriages before. Women were forced to stay in marriages because of stupid traditional, tribal, religious BS stuff. Women would get beat, and to this day, a lot of women that take beating and a lot of abuse are still feel forced to stay in marriage and stuff like that because they have no other avenue. They cannot get the money that they need otherwise and stuff. So I see different sides to this and everything where he sees this fantasy land and stuff like that. Again, just because if there wasn't Onlyfans, that isn't going to get all these guys to step up to the plate. There's a lot of other factors that would have to go into whether a man would step up to the plate for a woman or if a woman would want to get into a traditional marriage and stuff like that. You're living your own dream world, dude. That's fiction. Anyway.
Right now in America. There's no desire, there's no hunt, there's no search. So you can be a grown infant and you can get sex. When it used to be in 1950s, young women would be like, I'm not giving myself over to you. You're a man-child. Like, you don't even pay rent. You have nothing going for you. When now, unfortunately, you can pay $10 a month to go see a woman naked. No offense. Well, actually, kind of offensive, but
Aren't
that's
you
a
guys
separate
like
issue.
$5?
But
Yeah, I think
sorry.
But I'm saying that.
that's okay.
But to my OnlyFans friends here,
I get that stuff for free.
do you think that you both want to get married, right, and have children?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that you are more desirable or less desirable to a future husband when you post suggestive or naked pictures online?
I think that we're entitled just as much as other people.
No, you're totally entitled. You have freedom to do it. I'm asking a different question. Are you more desirable or less desirable for a
It's
man?
always been the same for me. Like, I've always received love the same way, and that's pretty. Like, I didn't really receive it. They all looked at me the same from the beginning.
How do you know how men look at you?
Because when I talk to them, I usually.
For me, women I know that have done OnlyFans and that type of stuff, I could care less. Of course, I'm different. I'm more open-minded. Don't believe in stupid religious BS stuff anymore. Is that what I'd be concerned about? Is if as long as I'm the one having sex with her, and just me and stuff like that versus others, that's what I care about. I mean, I know plenty of women that have been with other guys before. And I don't know. This is just, I don't know. To me, it's stupid. I mean, I'm concerned about the here and now. I don't care about the past. I don't care about that. I care about the here and the now type of thing.
Fall head over heels for them, and they all view me the same way. So whether or not I'm doing OnlyFans and selling my body, or not doing OnlyFans and selling my body, I'm still looked at the same way. They still think that of me.
Yeah, you don't know the male mind very well.
But they've already told me themselves.
And men are really good liars. Do you know that?
True.
Then how could you know they're telling the truth?
I don't know. I just take their word for
Usually
it.
a woman knows. Usually a woman knows. They'll find out. Women can see through a lot of stuff, you guys, that men cannot with women. Usually guys don't know if a woman is lying. A lot of stuff. Usually they don't, unless they've done a lot of psychology or something. Or no body language. For women, they can see through a lot of things, a lot more than guys can.
They're good liars.
Well, I don't know.
I'd say a lot of the guys that I know are more, I guess, the higher value type guys.
And there's actually
they don't take OnlyFans girls seriously.
No, yeah,
they will never look at them for marriage.
Some people actually do want OnlyFans women and want to marry OnlyFans women and have kids with OnlyFans women.
Erroneous, but very few.
Erroneous.
Well, hold on. Do you think those men are virtuous, high-quality men that won't cheat on you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like it, but it's actually really normalized in my area.
No, the fact that it's normalized is not the point. The point is it good? Is it right to post suggestive pictures of yourself online, number one? And does it get closer to your goal of being married for the rest of your life with a soulmate that you love?
Those are two separate questions. And, I mean, what they want to do, that's up to them. It shouldn't be up to you. It shouldn't be up to me, whether it's okay or not. It depends on if it's an adult-only site or whatever. Again, it should be up to them. Not up to some idiot religious type of person or whatever that is a fake religion and has no bearing on the afterlife, whether you go to heaven or hell. Well, if I'm doing nudity, if I'm doing sexual content, less illegal or something like that, it has no bearing where I'm going to heaven, hell, or whatever. It has no bearing. That's just your stupid religious views.
I feel obviously, I want to get married, and obviously, I feel like if I was with a guy and he didn't accept my past, I wouldn't want to be with him.
Not your past, if you're still doing it.
If he
if you
didn't
quit,
accept it, then
so let me ask you a hypothetical. If you met a man and he says, I'm earning $2 million a year, would you quit OnlyFans?
Okay, like that, yes. If they can make as much as I can, then yes, I'll
So you
quit.
would quit OnlyFans?
But if they're going to say, stop doing it, but they're not doing anything with their life, then no, I'm not going to
Okay,
stop.
so it's just purely financial for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Would you agree it's just purely financial for you?
Literally, yeah.
Okay. Do you think that you have more to offer to the world than your body?
Of course.
Yeah.
Then why don't you do that?
Because we
we've-
chose not to.
Yeah.
Because you chose. But I know. But don't you think
I mean,
you're?
we have more to offer, but we also want to be able to travel and explore.
Okay.
You know
No.
what
Now
I
we're
mean?
getting somewhere. So you want a fun life.
Yeah, a free
Yes.
life where we
Okay.
can travel, like live our life like young.
Everything in life comes with a cost.
Of course.
And the cost for you is that your body will now be shared by tens of thousands of
Yeah.
people, not just your soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you feel a little bit of sadness that you wish
No.
that your body would just be sold with your future, shared with your future soulmate?
I did have that mindset, and then like I feel like men actually changed me and turned me into this person. And
Who did? A men?
No, like
Oh.
men in general, like they just turned me into this person. I didn't plan my life going this way. It was literally a 1-minute decision, and I thought I might as well. They all view me the same, so.
Well, but I did touch upon in another video that I did. What we don't always do is, money is the biggest part, but a lot of this is self-exploration of sex, and them, learning stuff about their own body, learning new things about sex and sexuality that they wouldn't have thought otherwise. It's also some spiritual, sexual awakening. Like I had my spiritual, sexual awakening with adult stars and stuff like that, and how they helped me in writing, from romance to erotica. Adult stars helped me with that. And everything, and what they like and don't like, and stuff like that, and everything. It was very great awakening and stuff like that. So, break these chains and stuff like that, chains and everything. So,
I'll just throw my life in and do it.
Well,
But I feel like if a man wants to be with me and love me for who I am, then so be it. But if they're going to
Right.
judge me for what my work is and what I do, then I'm not going to let them in my life.
they're a piece of shit.
Right. So the judging is a separate issue. I'm just. Do you think the type of man you want, I imagine, is one that tells the truth, and that is loyal to you?
Yeah.
That pool of men that you
Right.
eventually want to have a family with.
Yeah.
Do you think they will look fondly upon OnlyFans girls?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
generally, I don't
I
know.
don't
I could tell
will.
you as a man that
will.
we look so lowly on OnlyFans girls. It's the equivalent to digital prostitution.
No, fuck you, first of all. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I mean, the thing is, alright, we learn things from this, from sexual awakening that a lot of people, I think, should look into and stuff like that. And learn things more about their own bodies and everything. There are people, from porn that learn stuff about, sexual dysfunction and stuff like that from, porn, and how to fix those sexual dysfunctions and everything. And it's like he sees sex and his stuff as dirty, as sick and disgusting. For me, it's more of a spiritual thing and everything. It's more spiritual, even more than, the adult stars that I know and other people on OnlyFans. It's more spiritual, but
Yeah.
me.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not.
Really?
It's
Yes,
the
it
average
is.
Western male.
I
No,
don't know
it's
if
not.
it's
Wait,
like.
what is his
Dumb and
opinion?
stupid.
I mean, it's not an opinion. It's,
Yeah,
it is factual that the average Western male looks at OnlyFans no different than an escort service delivered digitally.
Well, isn't it
Well,
just
that
objectively
is-
true?
And I'm not trying to attack
That
either
is
of you. I think you're both
that is
victims caught up in this terrible trend. I just want to ask you, have you thought deeply about how this might get you further from your goal?
I think some of it's good about how people can learn about their own sexuality from, porn and OnlyFans stuff, and have that awakening spiritual side, and I don't see everything as just getting off, as a quick getting off, because it should be. I think people have a lot to learn from sex and how to please your partner, the other sex, or sex or whatever. There's a lot to learn from it, for your own sexuality and spirituality. He sees it as just something that's sick and disgusting, and there's a lot of stuff that he's not going to know about sex because he just sees it as sick, disgusting, and impure.
Closer to your goal.
Yeah. Like, I have definitely thought about that.
But
Like, when, like, I first started it, I was like, this comes with, like, consequences, though. So, like, I obviously thought about it and was like, but I'm going to do this, and obviously it's going to be harder to find a guy to marry, but I'm taking that risk.
Yeah, I've always thought about just taking the risk, and I've always been like a risk taker. I don't really care about what anyone else thinks. Like, that's up to you and what you think. But if I think that I can get somewhere by it, then I'm going to do it.
Do you both want children?
Yeah.
Well, I do, but I don't know if I can.
You mean physically, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to have children and you were to go to your first grader's career day, and you were to present to a bunch of first graders, how would you describe what you do to a bunch of first graders?
Well, I don't think that I'll still be doing OnlyFans when I do have kids. I feel like that's something that I would stop before I did have kids.
Yeah.
Just so, like, it's not...
That's simple answer. You don't go to those. You don't. They don't go to those. I know with the other porn stars, they don't go to those. I mean, most parents don't go to those anyway. Only few parents go to those type of parent-teacher stuff where they talk about what the only few do. But you have to put up this bullshit thing, which only few parents do, So, I mean, most parents don't even do that.
Like, obviously, like, the internet is always going to be there. But
The internet is forever, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something that I would stop before I did have children, kind of thing.
Can I ask approximately? I have no idea. How much money do you earn annually? Is that okay to ask? I'm just curious.
So in the last 6 months, I've earned over $115,000.
U.S. dollars? Or
AUS.
AUS. So what is that conversion rate? Like 80%?
So
right?
like, yeah. So it was
You
like,
can buy like a croissant or something with that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's 80,000 American, right? About?
yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah. I think so.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
That's
Okay.
in 6 months?
Yeah,
So you're projected to have like over 180,000 by next year? 60?
Yeah.
Okay.
12 grand a month.
Did you have more on that?
No, I just want to make sure everybody watching and you guys all think deeply about that and how men view not just OnlyFans culture, but you all said marriage, and some of you said marriage and kids is the most important thing.
It's not all males. I mean, I think that different sides are just trying to brainwash each other and say this is how they want guys to view women as just pieces of trash and everything. And so many women that I know are the best type of women because they have an open mind. And a lot of them are smart. They've been to college. They've done business work. They work for corporations and stuff like that. Like I said, Leah Paul stuff. She's done astrophysics. She's done college. A lot of women that I've known of have done business college, CPA, business college and other stuff. Even nursing. These SOBs pisses me off. They want to skew things to their agenda and stuff like that, and just say you're only this or all this. How guys are seen as just as prostitutes and stuff like that, and I get very pissed off. That's a trigger mechanism because I know better. I've done this stuff as well, so I mean I have to say this. I have to put this out. I need to correct this BS. I have to.
Too often our actions and what we do every day is actually not getting us closer to our stated goal.
Well, you can say that to the subscribers too, who subscribe to their
I think
contribute
that
to their pockets, but that's what I mean.
They should be
how
shamed.
can we find husbands in our 20s, in our early 20s?
This is the thing. A lot of the subscribers, there's a lot of guys that watch porn that are go Catholic church, they go to Christian churches, and these are the same guys, the same people that attack people that do online, porn stuff. The same people. And a lot of them do it because they're jealous because they're not doing it, or because they're jealous because they're having all the sex and they're not doing it, and stuff like that, or not accepted into it, or whatever. So it's like they have this total hypocrisy with it. There's a lot of people, powerful people, people from the churches, center, stuff like that, against porn, but yet they watch it or whatever. So
20s, I'm not in my early 20s, but how could we find husbands if they're busy subscribing to OnlyFans chicks?
Yeah, well, not every man is. And that's a really good question. So where did all the good men go? I talk about this in my book, actually. The first piece of advice I have for young ladies is do not post suggestive material of yourself online. Men want what they cannot see and cannot have. Mystery is lacking in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's told bullshit on this. I knew she was based and stuff like that. That's not true. A lot of guys want what they can see, too. A lot of guys want what they can see. They want more and more and more and more. It's like me at candy store. They see it, or they see it doesn't matter either way. They want it. They want their bodies. It doesn't matter if they can see them naked, if they see them naked or not. They want them. It doesn't matter.
I know this is lost on a lot of young ladies. They say, the more I post of myself, on, with a bikini on the beach, the more men will like you. No, I mean, the more they'll want to have sex with you, but then they'll look at you as just a visual or a commodity, not as if you...
It doesn't matter if they want to have sex with you if you have clothes on, you dumbass. It doesn't matter if they're wearing clothes or not. Stop that bullshit. Okay? There are women here I like to have sex with. It doesn't matter if they're wearing clothes or not. It doesn't. So stop your fucking bullshit.
Your soulmate. And the second part is, to be perfectly honest with you, religious men check a lot of the boxes that you guys are looking for. I know that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I don't like religious people anymore. I hate them. I don't like that. I don't hate all of them. I don't. Some of them I respect as long as they don't cross their boundaries with me. If you don't tell me how to act, how to think, I'm not going to go after you. You attack me and my lifestyle, I'd attack you and your religion. Otherwise, do whatever you want. Live and let live. Her, I knew she was a based fool. I knew that, but...
That's my... I feel like that's one reason why I was able to find men like that. It's because even though they weren't conservative, they still had very, very deep religious values.
Can you tell me more? That's so interesting.
Mainly Catholic. I'm also Catholic.
Yeah. So, and they believed in the God, right? They wanted to have a family.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily read the Bible word for word every day, but they follow.
Whether you do porn or not doesn't dictate you going to heaven or hell. It doesn't matter if you do all this stuff. I've been there. I've been dead. I've seen the afterlife quite a few different times. Okay? That doesn't dictate where you're going to heaven or hell. It's all bullshit. It's false religions. It's false tribalism. Different tribes that create this falsities and stuff like that, so they can control women, they control the man, and stuff like say our religion is better than yours, etc., kill all these other people, that's not our religion, all this other BS. I mean, people are dumbass enough to believe in religion nowadays. That's your dumbass,
Follow the Bible.
Mine.
So would you say that's, if you're looking to find a man in the West and it's your number one priority, and you were given a random selection of a Catholic man or kind of a femboy atheist, you would take the Catholic?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
The Catholic, yes. I think femboy atheist is so funny.
So how many of you are then going to church actively trying to find a man?
I mean, I don't need to.
I also...
Well, I know, but...
I didn't meet any of my boyfriends.
Okay, fair enough.
And I feel like I wouldn't have, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like you can meet a really religious man outside of church.
Fair enough, yeah.
You just have to find where you guys both coincide and, yeah. Like at the library, studying for your exams, for example.
I actually recommend to my single friends to find men in the church because
I agree.
Usually stand-up guys, typically.
Yeah, and I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. And so my advice to my two Australian friends is that if you want the thing that is the most important thing to you, start making those decisions younger than older, because you might end up be filled with a lot of money and a lot of regret.
Okay, we played clips.
Anyways, let me see. I've done everything pretty much here. for tonight. So, anyways, hope everyone has a good morning, night, wherever you are. Take care. Tell me what you think, leave a like. I'm not on. I just want people be whatever they want to be, do want to do. Nobody should tell you how you should be in life. Nobody. I don't like that. That's just me. So, anyways, if you'd like to leave a comment, and peace out, everybody.